program to the next level. Shop now at ultraforcetech.com.
The USRA Souvenir Trailer is the official souvenir trailer of the 8th Annual Summit USRA Nationals presented by My Race Pass. Shirts, hoodies, hats, drinkware, and so much more are available for purchase. Visit the USRA Souvenir Trailer and grab your Nationals gear today.
2021 is going to be a great year to rediscover family fun and American freedom. And there's no better place to find all American family entertainment than Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. We are host to some of the nation's greatest grassroots motorsports, including late models, sprint cars, pro pulling, drag boats, and more. There's also amazing food and refreshments, attractions, distractions, and merchandise.
For more info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com.
Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life.
Race Ranch Wear is the official merchandise sponsor of the United States Racing Association and the Summit USRA Nationals. Visit raceranchwear.com today.
Hi friends, Phil Nightingale, General Manager of Mel Hamilton Ford. With over 500 pre-owned vehicles in stock, there's never been a better time to buy. At Mel Ham Ford, you'll find cars, trucks, SUVs, all in one location. Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, Kia, plenty of inventory to choose from, not just Fords. At Mel Ham Ford, you have our promise that every vehicle is inspected by a certified technician because we care. Let our experienced sales staff show you that buying a car can be easy. Come out and check us out in person or check us out online at mhford.com. Mel Ham Ford, experience the difference for yourself.
I really appreciate Greg. He's an old friend of mine. Makes this old man see good. If you need any glasses, cool Oakley stuff like I wear, see Deadler's Opticians.
Greg's been a long-time supporter for me for lots of years now, and he not only helps me, but he helps a lot of the racers and everything. So if you're looking for sunglasses, definitely should give him a call. He's very supportive of racing, and that's always good to have somebody that gives back to the sport like he does.
Hi everybody, Marshall Fagers here in the QA1 Precision Products booth at PRI. First up top here we have the first 2¼ inch diameter drive shaft designed for an open competition dirt super late model. These will hold up to 900 horsepower. We've been running them for a few years now with 0 failures. This is a little bit softer in torsion than your typical 3-inch diameter drive shaft. What that does is help keep the car hooked up coming out of the corner when the car's on the bars, bouncing up and down. On a rough tacky track, it helps smooth out the RPM curve a little bit. It takes your high RPMs, your low RPMs, and just smooths out that transition a little bit. Helps keep the car hooked up. Down below here, we have the 3.2-inch diameter extreme misalignment angle drive shaft. What we've done here is actually done a little bit of CNC work on the tube yoke to let the rear U-joint articulate further before it binds up. And what that does is lets you run a little bit more left rear drop before you run into pinion angle bind. To learn more, check us out online at QA1.net or find us on Facebook.
Zach Vanderbeek here, Dirt Modified Racer. Been using FK rod ends for about 10 years now. Maria and their crew have provided exceptional products for me racing competitively on the USMTS Tour.
Race man, the Z-Man does it. Zach Vanderbeek wins in 33Z.
I choose to put the best parts on my race car, and obviously I choose to put FK rod ends on there. We've had 0 part failures. The durability and the product, you can tell, is second to none. FK rod ends provide strong and durable parts for us so we can stay on the racetrack in some of the worst conditions and keeps us finishing races. I highly recommend their product. If you're looking for a really high quality rod end, go check those guys out, see what they got. They've got multiple options, and their product is awesome.
As general manager of Mel Hamilton Ford for 11 years, I know what customers are looking for. Great service with certified technicians, a great sales experience with plenty of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, parts and other gear to take care of all your racing needs. So when you decide who you want to do business with, choose us, Mel Hamilton Ford, and experience the difference. Hey, you know what I'm always asking myself? Is work supposed to be this much fun?
Since 1999, Pergola Performance Systems has been helping to make the most complex performance plumbing jobs easier. With innovative plumbing solutions like our Real Street hose ends that work in pump gas and ethanol applications, to our expander and reducer hose ends and specialty adapters, no job is off limits. Family owned and manufactured in the United States, with 3 generations overseeing daily operations, quality control, and on-time delivery is assured. Browse our catalog or find the dealer nearest you at BregolaPerformanceSystems.com. Bregola Performance Systems, your performance plumbing partner.
Race fans, get ready to experience the action like never before with the free My Race Pass app. On race day, hit the Entries tab to see who's signed in for the night in every class. As the cars hit the track, hit the Lineups tab to see where everyone is starting. Follow along with the action live with live timing and scoring, and even follow your driver wherever he's running. Get into the action like never before with the My Race Pass app. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Weir's Machine has been innovating the Ultra Force load machines and developed the Ultra Force suspension software, which allow you to take your program to the next level. Shop now at ultraforcetech.com.
The USRA Souvenir Trailer is the official souvenir trailer of the 8th Annual Summit USRA Nationals presented by My Race Pass. Shirts, hoodies, hats, drinkware, and so much more are available for purchase. Visit the USRA Souvenir Trailer and grab your Nationals gear today.
2021 is going to be a great year to rediscover family fun and American freedom. And there's no better place to find all American family entertainment than Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. We are host to some of the nation's greatest grassroots motorsports, including late models, sprint cars, pro pulling, drag boats, and more. There's also amazing food and refreshments, attractions, distractions, and merchandise.
For more info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com.
Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life.
Race Ranch Wear is the official merchandise sponsor of the United States Racing Association and the Summit USRA Nationals. Visit raceranchwear.com today.
Hi friends, Phil Nightingale, General Manager of Mel Hamilton Ford. With over 500 pre-owned vehicles in stock, there's never been a better time to buy. At Mel Ham Ford, you'll find cars, trucks, SUVs, all in one location. Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, Kia, plenty of inventory to choose from, not just Fords. At Mel Ham Ford, you have our promise that every vehicle is inspected by a certified technician because we care. Let our experienced sales staff show you that buying a car can be easy. Come out, check us out in person, or check us out online at mhford.com. Mel Ham Ford, experience the difference for yourself.
I really appreciate Greg. He's an old friend of mine. Makes this old man see good. If you need any glasses, cool Oakley stuff like I wear, see Deadler's Opticians.
Greg's been a long-time supporter for me for lots of years now, and he not only helps me, but he helps a lot of the racers and everything. So if you're looking for sunglasses, definitely should give him a call. He's very supportive of racing, and that's always good to have somebody that gives back to the sport like he does.
Hi everybody, Marshall Fagers here in the QA1 Precision Products booth at PRI. First up top here we have the first 2¼ inch diameter drive shaft designed for an open competition dirt super late model. These will hold up to 900 horsepower. We've been running them for a few years now with 0 failures. This is a little bit softer in torsion than your typical 3-inch diameter drive shaft. What that does is help keep the car hooked up coming out of the corner when the car's on the bars, bouncing up and down. On a rough tacky track, it helps smooth out the RPM curve a little bit. It takes your high RPMs, your low RPMs, and just smooths out that transition a little bit. Helps keep the car hooked up. Down below here, we have the 3.2-inch diameter extreme misalignment angle drive shaft. What we've done here is actually done a little bit of CNC work on the tube yoke to let the rear U-joint articulate further before it binds up. And what that does is lets you run a little bit more left rear drop before you run into pinion angle bind. To learn more, check us out online at qa1.net or find us on Facebook.
Zach Vanderbeek here, Dirt Modified Racer. Been using FK rod ends for about 10 years now. Maria and their crew have provided exceptional products for me, racing competitively on the USMTS Tour.
Raceman, the Z-Man does it. Zach Vanderbeek wins in 33Z.
I choose to put the best parts on my race car, and obviously I choose to put FK rod ends on there. We've had 0 part failures. The durability and the product, you can tell, is second to none. FK rod ends provide strong and durable parts for us so we can stay on the racetrack in some of the worst conditions and keeps us finishing races. I highly recommend their product. If you're looking for a really high quality rod end, go check those guys out, see what they got. They've got multiple options, and their product is awesome.
Life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Lord, there are many roads in this world, but they all ultimately lead to destruction. Lord, I pray that tonight, if there's anyone here who does not know you, Lord, that they would recognize their sin. God, that they would repent of it and turn to you, for you are the great forgiver, and you have provided your Son Jesus as the substitute for our sin. Lord, we pray that that truth be foremost in our mind tonight as we race. Lord, we pray that you would protect the drivers and crew members, the track officials, and all the fans in the stands. And we give you all the glory and honor and praise in Christ's name. Amen. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we've hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for heat race number 1 for the USRA Limited Modifieds. Again, we will be utilizing the passing point system. Heat races will be 8 laps in distance, and I believe we're going to lock in the top 16 in limited modified passing points. Top 8 will redraw for the feature. Few warm-up laps given to the drivers in USRA Limited Modified Heat Race number 1, but here is how we will line up for the race. On the pole from Happy, Texas in the Western Flyer race cars number 02, that's Rodney Sanders. And on his outside from Forney, Texas, behind the wheel of the Hilltop Lanes Hayes Farm Sherrill Air Conditioning number 76, that's Joe Findley. On the inside of row number 2 from Hallsville, Texas, driving the Mac Tools Bobby Skinner Race Engines JCT Auto Sales number C88 is Carson Bradley. And on the outside of row number 2 out of Grand Saline, Texas, in the Texas Locomotive Solutions Salt City Storage Gothard Hay Farms number 47G of Casey Fowler. To the inside of row number 3 out of Sibley, Louisiana, driving the Williams Flooring and Construction Works Pro 1 Transmission Allen Roofing number 47CC, that's Connor Williams. And from Marksville, Louisiana, in the K1 Contracting number K1, that's Stephen Guidry. Joshua Martin in the 88M, and the 56 is Stephen Ashcraft. Green flag waving, we are racing at the hill. Down into turn number 1, Rodney Sanders will pace the field. Joe Findling follows back behind him with Carson Bradley in the 3rd spot. Stephen Guidry way up high and handsome out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Carson Bradley looks to the inside of Joe Findling out of turn 4. He's going to have the spot at the line. Move Carson Bradley into the 2nd spot. Joe Findling back to 3rd with Casey Fowler and Connor Williams rounding out the top 5. Joshua Martin, Stephen Guidry, and Stephen Ashcraft battling for positions at the back of the field with Rodney Sanders out front. 4-car battle for not last at the moment as Connor Williams loses some ground. Joshua Martin will move into the 5th spot. Now Stephen Guidry along with Connor Williams will battle for the final spot. Connor Williams appears to have some problems on that 4.7 machine. And Joe Findling getting crossed up in the middle of 3 and 4. That's going to cause Casey Fowler to stomp on the brakes, and he'll pull to a stop in the middle of 3 and 4. Caution flag waving for the first time tonight. So we have 4 laps complete and 4 laps to go in heat race number 1 for the USRA Limited Modifieds. The lights are out. We're going green this time. Rodney Sanders, your race leader, with Carson Bradley in the 2nd spot. Joe Findling in 3rd. Green flag waving. We got half of it to go. Joe Findling has problems right off the restart, and he pulls to a stop at the top of 4, facing the wrong direction. That's going to be the 2nd caution. Fortunate not to tear up too much stuff there on other race cars at the restart of that one. The 76 had no power coming out of 4. Thankfully, everybody else was able to steer aside with minimal damage. All right, again, we got 4 laps down. Rodney Sanders is your race leader. Carson Bradley chooses the inside for the upcoming Texas-style restart. Joshua Martin in the 3rd spot. Stephen Guidry 4th. Stephen Ashcraft in 5th. Casey Fowler and Connor Williams on the tail of the field. We got 4 laps to go. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Joshua Martin challenging Carson Bradley for the 2nd spot out of 2. He's going to peek to the inside, and here comes Stephen Guidry in the K1. Struggled early on in this heat race, but he looks to have found his own. He's up to 4th and battling for more. Rodney Sanders still pacing the field in the 0-2. Racer out of Happy, Texas, a regular for the United States Modified Touring Series, as well as outlaw modified events and late model events all across the country. White flag in the air this time for Sanders. Sanders will lead him down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Coming into the checkered flag. Heat race number 1 goes to the Rocket, Rodney Sanders. 2nd place is Carson Bradley. 3rd is Joshua Martin. 4th, Stephen Guidry. 5th, Stephen Ashcraft. 6th will be Casey Fowler, and Connor Williams will round out the field in 7th. So your top 3 cars. In 3rd from Colfax, Louisiana, the 88M of Joshua Martin. 2nd place out of Hallsville, Texas, in the C88 is Carson Bradley. Taking the win from Happy, Texas, the 0-2, the Rocket, Rodney Sanders. All right, heat race number 2 for the USRA Limited Modifieds is going to line up in this way. On the pole from Ponchatoula, Louisiana, in the Sheridan's grass cutting number 56 is Rodney Sheridan. Eric Luttrell in 2nd. Chase Hatton, Rowdy Day, Adam Roy, Derek Grigsby, Bo Day, Wyatt Wilkerson, and David Anderson is your field. Green flag waving already on heat race number 2 for the USRA Limited Modifieds. And they're all jumbled up in the middle of 1 and 2. The 69 of Grigsby involved, as well as the 5X of Bo Day. The 78 of Wyatt Wilkerson caught up there. He's going to keep it rolling, though. Caution flag waving. As I said, your pole starter, Rodney Sheridan from Ponchatoula, Louisiana, in the Sheridan's grass, cutting number 56. On the outside pole, out of Kaufman, Texas, driving the Bullet Racing engine, Stan Hopkins Co. H&B Lubricants, number 11 is Eric Luttrell. To the inside of row number 2, out of DeBerry, Texas, in the Ray Ingalls Racing TE Glower Cattle Company, Ingalls Racing Performance number 210 is Chase Hatton. And last night's winner out of Greenville, Texas, on the outside of row number 2, aboard the 517 A&B Diesel Performance BDR Motorsports number 20D of Rowdy Day. To the inside of row number 3, that's your Louisiana State Dirt Track champion out of Red Lake, Texas, piloting the Sarah with Griffin Realtors, Vines Construction Shirtlift Custom Tile number 2 of Adam Roy. And on his outside, out of Marshall, Texas, piloting the True Love Law Firm, 5-Star Builders, JCT Auto Sales number 69, it's the Marshall Missile, Derek Grigsby. Starting 7th out of Greenville, Texas, jockeying the Knowles Performance Engines, Western Flyer Race Cars, Rowdy Auto Sales number 5X, it's Bo Day. And on his outside, from Sweet Lake, Louisiana. Behind the wheel of the Wilkerson Transportation Ingalls Racing Performance Cajun Pools and Spas, number 78 of Wyatt Wilkerson. Your final starter hails from Cleveland, Texas, and is driving the AOK Auto Sales CD Auto and Tire Seals Hot Rod Shop, number 87A. It's David Anderson. Here we go. We're going to try it again. Caution flag still out that time. All right, Sheridan and Hatton are going to set us up for this one. Green flag coming out of turn 4. Chase Hatton out to the early race lead. He pulls ahead in the 210 machine. Derek Grigsby going to follow behind him, and Hatton loses it in the middle of 1 and 2. They're 3 wide out of 2 as Hatton gets back in formation. Going to try to keep this one staying green. Sheridan a little crossed up in the middle of 3 and 4 as well. Derek Grigsby and Rowdy Day, Wyatt Wilkerson, Adam Roy, and Bo Day are all staying solid in the top 5. Top 2 cars right now are your top 2 cars from last night. The 20D of Rowdy Day took home the win in the USRA Limited Modified Division. Derek Grigsby came home the bridesmaid in that one in the True Love Law Firm, number 69. And he raced number 1 winner of Rodney Sanders, was 3rd last night in the USRA Limited Modified feature race. The first one of the USRA Southern Nationals presented by Summit Racing Equipment. But for now, we got 2 laps in the books, 3 laps, excuse me. Derek Grigsby still your race leader up on the cushion. Rowdy Day trying to make something happen through the middle. He's got to run down the back straightaway. Grigsby going to slam the door on him as he rolls down the backstretch. It's Grigsby, Day, Wilkerson, Roy, and Day, your top 5. Sheridan and Anderson battling tooth and nail for the 6th spot. Anderson's got it that lap. X of Bo Day is challenging with the 2 of Adam Roy, but can't make anything happen just yet. We're past the midway point in this one. 2 to go this time for Grigsby. White flag in the air. We got 1 lap to go. 69, 20D, and 78, your top 3 as Grigsby paces the field through 1 and 2. He'll roll it down the back straightaway and into 3 and 4 with a car length advantage over Rowdy Day. Coming out of turn 4, Derek Grigsby is your heat race winner. Rowdy Day comes home 2nd, 3rd is Wyatt Wilkerson. 4th, Bo Day takes it away from Adam Roy, who finishes 5th. 6th is David Anderson. 7th, Rodney Sheridan. Rounding out the field in 8th, the 210 of Chase Hatton. So your top 3 finishers in that one. Coming home 3rd from Sweet Lake, Louisiana, the 78 of Wyatt Wilkerson. 2nd place in this heat race. He was your winner last night out of Greenville, Texas, the 20D of Rowdy Day. And your winner, the 69 from Marshall, Texas, Derek Grigsby. Your third and final heat race for the USRA Limited Modifieds will line up like this. On the pole from Texarkana, Texas, behind the wheel of the Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital Presto Magic Clean Eagles Racing Performance number 35 is Aaron Roy. And on his outside from Frankston, Texas, driving the 79 Express Trucking Day Motorsports Eagles Racing Performance number 79 of Tyler Parker. To the inside of row number 2 out of Kemp, Texas, piloting the quality intermodal delivery service Jenna Rose Designs Patriot Racing number 3T, that's Jason Trevathan. And your fourth starter is from Gray, Texas, behind the wheel of the Straight Up Nutrition and Energy RPM Motorsports Jack Spring Electric number 18. It's Stephen Hogan. The 94 is Kyle Blanton, 9R Baron Prince, the 5 is Kevin Sestair, followed by the 47 of Kelly Lockey and the 23 of Cody Tupper. Green flag waving on heat race number 3. Aaron Roy out to the early race lead in this one down the back straightaway. He's got the advantage over Tyler Parker. Roy, Parker, and Hogan, your top 3, with Prince and Lockheed rounding out the top 5. Tupper already up to the 5th spot after starting at the tail of the field. And Aaron Roy pulling away from the rest of the field out front. The 35 from Texarkana, Texas. Very accomplished racer out of the Texarkana area. Tyler Parker, Stephen Hogan, Baron Prince, and Kelly Lockey still your top 5. Kevin Sestair, Cody Tupper, Kyle Blanton, and Jason Trevathan is your field at the moment. Problems for the 3T of Trevathan. He's up in smoke down the back stretch and off the speedway into the infield. White flag coming out this time for the 35 of Roy. He's got a huge advantage over the second place runner of Tyler Parker. Aaron Roy comes out at 2 as Parker crosses the flag stand. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. He put a whooping on him in heat race number 3. It's the 35 of Aaron Roy. Coming around to grab the second spot, Tyler Parker. Stephen Hogan in third. 4th is Baron Prince. 5th is Kelly Lockey. 6th, Kevin Sestair. 7th, Cody Tupper. And in the 8th and final spot is Kyle Blanton. So your top 3 finishers in the 3rd and final heat race for the USRA Limited Modifieds. 3rd place from Gray, Texas, the 18 of Stephen Hogan. 2nd place out of Frankston, Texas, the 79 of Tyler Parker. And taking the win from Texarkana, Texas, the 35 of Aaron Roy. All right, folks, it is now time for your first of 2 USRA tuner heat races. And on the pole of heat race number 1 from Tyler, Texas, driving the Lynn's Performance Pops & Sons Automotive number C73 is Carmelia Shelton. On the outside of her, from Mesquite, Texas, driving the Lynn's Performance Pops & Sons Automotive number 17T is Daniel Thompson. To the inside of row number 2, out of Stamps Arkansas driving the G&G Enterprise. Jimmy's driving Stamps Boys Trucking number 1X of Clay Gardner. And on the outside from Blanchard, Louisiana, driving the Mikey's One Stop Shop Aero Race Wheels 3B's Signs and Things number 777 of Mikey Brunker. To the inside of row number 3 from Stamps Arkansas, in the G&G Enterprise, Jimmy's driving Stamps Boys Trucking CGS Farms number 69G is Cade Gardner. And your final starter is from New Boston, Texas, driving the Victory Graphics Riggit Racing number 72M, Michaela Strom. We're going to go 6 laps in distance for the USRA Tuner Heat Races. Again, utilizing the passing point system throughout the weekend here for the USRA Southern Nationals. Daniel Thompson out to the early race lead. Mikey Brunker in the second spot. Michaela Strom rounding out your top 3. Daniel Thompson, Mikey Brunker, and Michaela Strom, your top 3. These cars distancing themselves away from all the rest of them. They're pretty spaced out here. Fourth place is Carmelia Shelton in the C73. 5th is Cade Gardner and Clay Gardner rounding out the field. Flag in the air for Daniel Thompson. He continues to drive away with this one, the 17T out of Mesquite, Texas. He'll roll into 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming around to grab the checkered flag. Daniel Thompson wins it in 17T. Second place going to go to Mikey Brunker. Coming around to grab third will be Michaela Strom. Clay Gardner, I believe Clay Gardner is a lap down there. 4th is going to be Carmelia Shelton. 5th, Cade Gardner. And in 6th, Clay Gardner. So your top 3 in that one. In 3rd from New Boston, Texas, the 72M of Michaela Strom. 2nd place from Blanchard, Louisiana, the 777 of Mikey Brunker. And taking the win from Mesquite, Texas, the 17T of Daniel Thompson. USRA Tuner Heat Race number 2 is going to stack up in this way on the pole from Marshall, Texas. Behind the wheel of the Collier Racing Platinum Collision Center number 14 is Chris Collier. And on his outside, the 32C of Chris Scott. Chris Scott hailing from Texarkana, Arkansas. To the inside of row number 2 from Nash, Texas, in the Mini Wheat Farms, Central Air Conditioning and Plumbing, Wells Racing Bodies, number 32L of Luke Wheat. And on the outside of row number 2 from Big Sandy, Texas, the 20 of Dakota Kitchen. Your final row of starters stacks up in this way. On the inside from Keithville, Louisiana, in the F5 is Ben McDuff. And on the outside, last night's winner from Granbury, Texas, in the Abilene Battery and Golf Cart, number 7S, Stephen Bevels. Lights are out. We're going to go 6 laps in distance. Passing points being utilized. The 33K in this one at the tail of the field, that's going to be Cameron Smith. From Hope, Arkansas to Mikey's Auto Body and Fab, Brodick Cylinder Heads, Inked Threads entry. Chris Collier out to the early race lead. Chris Scott in the second spot. Dakota Kitchen, Luke Wheat, and Stephen Bevels now battling for third as they roll through 3 and 4. The F5 of Ben McDuff off the pace. He'll pull it into the infield and save it for the feature race coming up later tonight. The 7S of Stephen Bevels in third down the back straightaway. He's going to look for more as they roll through 3 and 4. Collier, Smith, and Bevels, your top 3. Smith going to close the door on Bevels through 1 and 2 as Bevels tries to peek around the outside. Nothing doing there. They'll roll through 3 and 4. Still Collier, Smith, and Bevels. Here comes Bevels, shot out like a cannon out of turn 4. Bevels has the second spot through 1 and 2, and he's going to give chase to your race leader, Chris Collier, down the back stretch. Collier, Bevels, Smith, Wheat, Kitchen, and Smith, your top 6. White flag in the air, and here comes Bevels trying to steal one out of the hat. Collier, your race leader, through 1 and 2. Here comes Bevels out of 2 and down the back straightaway. They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 3. Who's it going to be? Through 3 and 4, Collier's got the inside, Bevels around the outside. Here he comes from worst to first. The 7S of Stephen Bevels takes the win. Chris Collier comes home second. Third is Chris Scott. Fourth, Luke Wheat. Fifth, Dakota Kitchen. And sixth is Cameron Smith. So your top 3 cars. In third from Texarkana, Arkansas, the 32C of Chris Scott. Second place from Marshall, Texas, the 14 of Chris Collier. And taking the win from Granbury, Texas, the 7S of Stephen Bevels. It is now time for your first of 3 USRA factory stock heat races. And heat race number 1 will stack up like this. On the pole, from Cleveland, Texas, driving the CC Custom Bodies MRM Body Shop Big Dave's Racing Engines, number 21S of Calvin Tucker. And on his outside, from Forney, Texas, in the Hilltop Lanes, Hayes Farm, Sherrill Air Conditioning, number 76 of Joe Findling. To the inside of row number 2, we will find from Robeline, Louisiana, in the Scotty Shade Tree Performance Legacy Construction Pro Ship Transmission number 1 of Dalton Dubois. And on his outside, out of Terrell, Texas, driving the Wills Point Automotive, Wills Point Auto Sales, Synergy Environmental, number 23 of Don Jensen. Your 5th starter won last night in dominating fashion from Cut and Shoot, Texas, driving the DAF Chassis Knowles Performance 5-star Septic number 27, Dalton Faulkner. And on his outside, we find the USRA Factory Stock National Point Leader out of Dallas, Texas, driving the Texas Auto Sales Smiley's Racing Products Sniper Speed number 1W of Walter Hamilton. To the inside of row number 4, Out of Shreveport, Louisiana, driving the WCH Racing Engines, Hitman Designs, Jeff's Racing Products, number 24-7 of Sean Graham. And on his outside from Kilgore, Texas, the 3D Motorsports, number 13X, Austin Hale. Your final starter is from Wascom, Texas, in the 68. It's James Martin. Lights are out. Calvin Tucker, Joe Findling, Dalton Dubois, Don Jensen, Dalton Faulkner, Walter Hamilton, Sean Graham, Austin Hale, and James Martin. Green flag in the air for heat race number 1 of the USRA factory stocks. They're 3 wide off of 4, almost 4 wide as they go into turn number 1. The 27 of Dalton Faulkner and Sean Graham down on the bottom side of the speedway. And here comes your national point leader, the 1W of Walter Hamilton around the outside. Problems for the 1 of Dalton Dubois. He's going to spin and stack up most of the field there through 3 and 4. Caution flag waving for the first time in factory stock competition. Lights are out. We're going back green. We got 1 lap down and 7 to go. 21S of Calvin Tucker, your race leader, as they roll down the backstretch. Don Jensen on the outside with Walter Hamilton down on the inside. A pair of Dallas-Fort Worth area racers are giving chase to your Houston area race leader in the 21S. Here comes Sean Graham out of 2, shot out of a cannon down the backstretch. He'll pull it into second as they enter 3, and Sean Graham now comfortably in your second spot out of turn 4. Dalton Faulkner will also get by the 1W of Walter Hamilton. And now he'll peek to the inside. That is Sean Graham, that is, will peek to the inside of Calvin Tucker for the race lead. Can't make anything happen down the back straightaway that time. Here comes Faulkner at the top in the DAF chassis number 27. He'll lose some ground there as Graham continues to reel in the 21S of Tucker out of turn 2. He's got to run down the back straightaway. They're wheel to wheel into turn 3. We're halfway home, 4 laps down and 4 to go. It'll be 3 to go at the flag stand this time. Sean Graham, your new race leader, out of 4. Sean Graham swiftly moving through the field in the 24/7 car owned by Mike Hurst. It'll be 2 to go this time for the 24/7. So it's Graham, Tucker, Faulkner, Hamilton, and Dubois, your top 5, with Jensen, Hale, and Martin rounding out the field at the moment. Here comes Dalton Faulkner to the inside of his teammate Calvin Tucker through 3 and 4. White flag in the air this time. We got 1 to go in heat race number 1. Faulkner moves to the inside of Tucker. He's got second as they roll through 1 and 2. They'll head down the back straightaway into 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming around to grab the checkered flag, the 24/7 of Sean Graham. Second place goes to Dalton Faulkner. Third is Calvin Tucker. Fourth is Walter Hamilton. Fifth, Dalton Dubois. Sixth is Don Jensen. Seventh, Austin Hale. And in 8th, rounding out the field, will be the 68 of James Martin. So your top 3 cars in third from Cleveland, Texas, the 21S of Calvin Tucker. Second place from Cut and Shoot, Texas, the 27 of Dalton Faulkner. Taking the win from Shreveport, Louisiana, the 24/7 of Sean Graham. Heat race number 2 for the USRA factory stocks will line up in this way. On the pole from 7 Points, Texas. Behind the wheel, the Valerie Bomb, the Racing Realtor, White Horse Tuning and Dyno, 79 Express Trucking, number 197, Peanut Fitch. And on his outside, out of Forney, Texas, driving the Wills Point Automotive, Everclear Autoglass, Synergy Environmental, number 23J of Dustin Choate. To the inside of row number 2, out of Vivian, Louisiana, behind the wheel of the Twin City Towing, Harvey Toyota, number 87, that's Doug Vick Jr. And on his outside, starting 4th from Detroit, Texas, piloting the Overhead Door Solutions, Adams Lawn and Landscape, number 95B of Brandon Bettis. Your 5th starter is from Longview, Texas, driving the Twin City Towing, Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, number 81 of Ricky Ingalls. And on the outside, starting 6th from Sulphur, Louisiana, aboard the Aero Mobile Home Movers, Cape Signs and Metal Designs, number 00 of Nicholas Morgan. To the inside of row number 4, out of Blossom, Texas, driving the Whitakers Towing, Adams Lawn and Landscape, Paris Inflatables, number 4B of Kyle Blanton. And to his outside from Shreveport, Louisiana, behind the wheel of the Daughtery Race Engines, Club 20 Suspension, Wits, Classic Auto Repair M-Body, number 34P of Peyton Daughtery. Your final starter comes to us from Lindale, Texas, driving the Bells Construction, number 87, it's Andrew Albritton. Lights are out. We're going to go green this time. Doug Vick Jr., out front early in this one in the 87 machine. Peanut Fitch, Dustin Choate, and I believe that's Cody Myers battling for the second spot. Excuse me, not Cody Myers, that's Ricky Ingalls in the 81 machine. Peanut Fitch and Ricky Ingalls battling for the second spot. Dustin Choate in fourth. And the 4B of Kyle Blanton in the fifth spot. Ricky Ingalls slides ahead of Peanut Fitch in the middle of 1 and 2. Move Ricky Ingalls into second. He's going to chase down his teammate, the 87 of Doug Vick Jr. Lots of side-by-side action through 1 and 2. The middle of the field stacking up here nicely with some side-by-side racing action. The 23J of Dustin Choate, 95B of Brandon Bettis, 34P of Peyton Daughtery, as well as the 87 of Andrew Albritton, all putting on a show. Ricky Ingalls appears to be closing in on Doug Vick Jr. There may not be enough laps left in this one for him to make a pass. 2 to go this time. Peanut Fitch in the third spot with Kyle Blanton in fourth. Rounding out the top 5 is Peyton Daughtery. White flag is in the air. We got 1 lap to go in heat race number 2 for the USRA factory stocks. Doug Vick Jr. will roll into 1 and 2. Ricky Ingalls around the outside looking for a passing lane. Out of 2, Vick is going to pull ahead by a car length down the back stretch. They'll roll into 3 and 4. Coming around to grab the checkered flag, it's going to be the 87 of Doug Vick Jr. Ricky Ingalls comes home second. Third will be Peanut Fitch. Fourth is Kyle Blanton. Fifth place goes to the 34P of Peyton Daughtery. Dustin Choate, Andrew Albritton. I'm not quite sure who the 40F car is. He's not on the lineup. The 00 of Nicholas Morgan comes around to grab the checkered flag, as well as the 95B of Brandon Bettis. So your top 3 cars in that one. Third place from 7 Points, Texas in the 197. That's Gary Peanut Fitch. Second place from Longview, Texas, the 81 of Ricky Ingalls. And taking the win out of Vivian, Louisiana, the 87 of Doug Vick Jr. Here is the lineup for heat race number 3 for the USRA factory stocks. On the pole from Bossier City, Louisiana, driving the Dales Pavement Laser Race Car Superior Bar and Grill, number 12 of Bo Perry. Second place out of Mineral Springs, Arkansas, driving the Remax Club 20 Suspension Outlaw Race Cars, number 32R of Neil Kemp. To the inside of row number 2 from St. Amand, Louisiana, driving the bodies by Donnie K. Dillard Racing, S&S Fishing and Rental, number FOUR, it's Ryder Cantillo. And to the outside of row number 2 from Wills Point, Texas, driving the 2.5 chassis, Big Dave's Racing Engines, Dark Horse Racing Shocks, number 98 of Chris Davis. To the inside of row number 3 out of Sinton, Texas, driving the Alberson Motorsports CD Electric Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance, number 9C, Caitlin Leonard. And your 6th starter is from Gladewater, Texas, aboard the Mike Jones Consulting, Sword Farm, Steve Harrington State Farm, number 215 of TJ Evans. To the inside of row number 4 out of Bossier City, Louisiana, that's going to be the 10 of Matt Ebarb. And on the outside of your final row, from Edgewood, Texas, driving the Outlaw Race Cars, Best Engines, Wicked Fast Transmissions, number 25 of Greg Hammett. So Ryder Cantillo not making the start in this one. It's going to move Caitlin Leonard and Matt Ebarb up a row. Green flag in the air. We are racing. 98 of Chris Davis in the third spot as they roll through 1 and 2. The 12 of Bo Perry gives chase to the 32R of Neil Kemp, who is your early race leader into 3 and 4. Neil Kemp, Bo Perry, Chris Davis, Caitlin Leonard, and TJ Evans, your top 5, with Greg Hammett and Matt Ebarb rounding out the field. The 9C of Caitlin Leonard up to third now, getting by the 98 of Chris Davis. Here comes the 215 of TJ Evans. He won a feature race here in the factory stock division this season. Both drivers out front have also won at the hill this season in the factory stock division. The 32R of Neil Kemp and the 12 of Bo Perry. Out of 4, Kemp's got it, but Bo Perry wants it. He's trying to pull even as they enter 1 and 2. A roll out of 2, the 12 of Bo Perry, about a half car length behind the 32R of Neil Kemp in the Remax 32R. We got 5 laps down and 3 to go this time. It's still Kemp, Perry, Leonard, Evans, and Davis, your top 5, with Hammett and Ebarb rounding out your field. Two to go for Kemp. White flag waving for the 32R of Neil Kemp. He's got 1 lap to go in factory stock heat race number 3. That is the USRA factory stock heat race number 3. They'll roll down the back straightaway into 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming to grab the checkered flag, the 32R of Neil Kemp. Second place is Bo Perry. Third will be Caitlin Leonard. TJ Evans in 4th, and 5th is Chris Davis. 6th will be Greg Hammett, and rounding out the field in 7th, the 10 of Matt Ebarb. So your top 3 finishers: in 3rd from Sinton, Texas, the 9C of Caitlin Leonard. 2nd place from Bossier City, Louisiana, the 12 of Bo Perry. And taking the win from Mineral Springs, Arkansas, the 32R of Neil Kemp. And here is your 4th and final heat race for the USRA factory stocks. It's going to line up like this. On the pole for Shreveport, Louisiana, driving the Twin City Towing Port City Gunworks LLC, number 10X, Josh Daughtery. To his outside from Texarkana, Texas, driving the Central Air Conditioning and Plumbing Arclitex Animal Hospital Outlaw Race Cars, number 38 of Mike Wells. To the inside of row number 2 from Ball, Louisiana, behind the wheel of the Rick's Auto Sales Advanced Performance Engines Hitman Designs, number 34, Rodney Howell. And on his outside from Edgewood, Texas, driving the Outlaw Race Cars Best Engines Patriot Racing, number 13 of Jeff Hammett. Starting 5th is your Boothill Speedway track champion from Bossier City, Louisiana, behind the wheel of the Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, number 55M, Cody Myers. And on his outside from Provençal, Louisiana, behind the wheel of the MFT Resources, Cornerstone Solutions, Triple H Services, number 15X of Dakota Wyatt. From Provençal, Louisiana, the LCC Trucking Outlaw Race Cars Jones Septic number B21 is Bubba Jones. And your final starter is from Vidor, Texas, behind the wheel of the Green Tech Sales Royal Purple Motor Oil Chapman Motorsports number 1H of Jared Herring. That one looks like it's going to be ruled a no start. Flagman did not wave his green flag before your outside pole sitter Mike Wells took off. Lights are out. We're going 8 laps in distance. Josh Daughtery and Jeff Hammett now your front row. Green flag waving on heat race number 4 for the USRA factory stocks. X of Josh Daughtery pulls away down the back straightaway. He'll roll it into 3 and 4 with about a 7-car length advantage over the 13 of Jeff Hammett. The 34 of Rodney Howell now to the inside in their stair-step formation down the front stretch. Contact made between Cody Myers and Mike Wells, but no harm done. Will stay green as they continue to race 3 wide down at the back of the field. 13 of Jeff Hammett looks like he's got a problem. He's off the pace and down to the back. The B21 of Bubba Jones trying to get settled after getting a new power plant this afternoon. After last night, he had an unfortunate motor blown. Three laps down, it's Daughtery, Howell, Wells, Wyatt, and Myers, your top 5, with Herring, Jones, and Hammett rounding out the rest of the field. They're in stair-step formation off of 2. Battling for the 4th spot, it's Dakota Wyatt, followed by Cody Myers and Jared Herring. We're halfway home, 4 laps gone and 4 to go for this one. The 13 of Jeff Hammett going to exit the racetrack at the corner of turn 1. We will be able to stay green without him. Jared Herring looks to the inside of Cody Myers as they both gain ground on the 15X of Dakota Wyatt. 2 laps to go this time for the 10X of Josh Daughtery. White flag in the air this time. We got 1 to go in heat race competition for the USRA factory stocks. Josh Daughtery will lead them into 1 and 2. He's got a large advantage over the second place running car of Rodney Howell. They'll roll into 3 and 4 for the final time in factory stock heat race competition. Coming to take the win, the 10X of Josh Daughtery. Second place goes to Rodney Howell. 3rd is Mike Wells. 4th, Dakota Wyatt. 5th, Jared Herring. 6th is Bubba Jones. And rounding out the field in 7th will be the 55M of Cody Myers. So your top 3 finishers there. In 3rd from Texarkana, Texas, the 38 of Mike Wells. 2nd place goes to the Ball, Louisiana native, the 34 of Rodney Howell. And taking the win from Shreveport, Louisiana, the 10X of Josh Daughtery. And it is now time for the first of 3 USRA American Racer Modified Series heat races. I'll turn it over to Bryce.
Thank you very much, Josh. We'll get set here for Dealer Reconditioning Services heat race number 1. 31 USRA modified drivers have drawn in here on night number 2 of the 4th annual Summit Racing Equipment USRA Southern Nationals. 4 heat races tonight for the USMTS Modifieds. Top 12 in passing points go directly into the A main. The rest will have to work out of a pair of Day Motorsports B mains. And again, top 12 in passing points lock in. Top 8 will redraw. Your lineup for the opening heat race will look like this. Dustin Hyde, Tater, will lead us to the green. Here in heat race number 1, he's at a Texarkana, Texas. The Able Enterprises number K9 will start front row on the inside. And his outside will line up David McDaniel. He's at a Sanger, Texas, the McDaniel Incorporated 18D. Row 2 on the inside, Kenny Gaddis at a Diana, Texas, Transmissions Unlimited 2G. And his outside will be David Tanner, racing out of Wichita Falls, Texas, in the Wichita Tank Racing D25. Row 3 on the inside, your series points leader, Tristan Dykes out of Maypearl, Texas, the TaylorMade Countertops number 14T. And to Tristan's outside, it's Mason Williams out of Fouke, Arkansas. He's in the Charlie Williams Painting 24W. Final 2 starters will be Mike Dillard out of McKinney, Texas, the MSC Enterprises number 66X, and Colton Horner to his outside out of Houston, Texas, the Houston Specialty Products number 56. Your 8 starters for Dealer Reconditioning Services heat race number 1. 8 laps the distance in USRA modified heat races here for the USRA American Racer Modified Series. Again, 31 drivers, top 12 in passing points lock into tonight's A main, top 8 redraw. The rest work out of the B mains. We'll take 10 from the B mains and 2 possible series provisionals for tonight's 3,000 to win American Racer Modified Series feature event. So Tater Hyde alongside David McDaniel on row number 1. Kenny Gaddis had a solid run last night in the 2G, finished in the top 5, advanced to 4th in the standings, about 12 points over Sean Gaddis coming into tonight's action. So Kenny Gaddis up to 4th now in the standings after a top 5 finish last night. David Tanner to his outside, the TNT Auto Parts hard charger last night, advanced 8 spots into the top 15 in that D25. And Tristan Dykes finished on the podium last night, a 3rd place finish for your series points leader to put him 94 points in front of 2nd place Max Eddie Thomas as the caution lights go down. Set for green here in Dealer Reconditioning Services heat race number 1. Colton Horner, a scratch in the 56 as we turn him loose here in your opening heat race. We'll lose the Houston, Texas hot shoe here in the opening heat. Tater Hyde going to lead the opening lap. Kenny Gaddis playing chase along the cushion in that 2nd place spot down the back straightaway. David McDaniel drops to 3rd here early on. Kenny Gaddis has got a fast MB Customs underneath him right now. He's chomping to the bit right behind the K9 of Dustin Hyde. Hyde will try to fend him off down the back straightaway, but Kenny set on kill right now. He'll attack the cushion on exit turn number 4, blast the outside of the K9, and Kenny Gaddis will take over the top spot here on lap 3. Kenny Gaddis to the lead in the 2G. He'll wrestle the cushion at turn number 2 as the caution will come out for Mason Williams. So Mason Williams in the 24W around in turn 4 will force out the caution flag here with 3 laps completed. And Kenny Gaddis looks quick here early on tonight. Started 2nd row on the inside, able to take the lead from Hyde a few laps ago, and he will be your leader here with 3 laps scored of 8. And Mason Williams caught up to the field here. Caution lights will go down. We'll quickly restart Dealer Reconditioning Services heat race number 1. Back under the green flag out of turn 4. Good restart as well for the 2G. Really came to life on that restart and able to gap the field pretty good down the back straightaway. Hyde will drop to a distant 2nd as Tristan Dykes works into the top 3. So Dykes into 3rd. Mike Dillard, David Tanner in a race for the 4th position. Pretty good battle between those two. Tristan Dykes also able to size up the K9 of Dustin Hyde down the back straightaway. It's all Kenny Gaddis out front though. The 2G rolling in front of your field with 5 in and 3 to go. Dykes down the inside of Hyde for 2nd as Mason Williams calls it quits here with 5 in, now 6 in this time around, 2 to go. Gaddis leads, Hyde in 2nd, Dykes in 3rd. Mike Dillard able to take over the 4th place spot from the D25 at Tanner as David McDaniel rounds out the running order. White flag comes in the air off of turn number 4. 1 more lap to go for Kenny Gaddis here in heat race number 1. They'll take that MB Customs Transmissions Unlimited 2G down the back straightaway for the final time here in your opening heat race. Off at turn number 4, Kenny Gaddis wins heat race number 1. Checkers out on your opening heat race. Tristan Dykes rounded out the podium of that one. Dykes in the 3rd place spot in the 14T. 2nd went to Tater Hyde. The K9 finishes in the runner-up spot. And your heat race winner out of Diana, Texas, the MB Customs Transmissions Unlimited Panel Truss, Big Texas Auto Parts, and Sunny Mountain Self Storage, number 2G. Kenny Gaddis, your winner in Dealer Reconditioning Services heat race number 1. Heat race number 2. We'll see last night's runner-up on the front row of this one, Rodney Sanders in the Wichita Tank Racing, number 20 at a Happy, Texas. Will set the pace alongside Jason Ingalls at a Longview, Texas, the Mr. Plummer, number 12. Row 2 on the inside, Sean Gaddis out of Diana, Texas. Transmissions Unlimited, number 7, alongside Jake Huckabee out of Texarkana, the J&M Investments, number 18J. Chris Huckabee will line up third row on the inside. Huckabee in the CRH Motorsports 2C out of Midlothian, Texas, alongside McAllen, Texas racer Michael Walker, the MW Investments 34. Your final 2 starters, last night's feature winner, it's Cale Westover to Blair, Oklahoma, the Wichita Tank Racing 125, with Kevin Rutherford to the outside. Rutherford out of Flower Mound, Texas, the Post Rock Beef, number 9. We'll start to the outside of the 4th row. We'll get set here for Star One Roofing Heat Race number 2. Sanders and Ingalls on row number 1. Field comes under the green flag. Back to it in heat racing action here for the American Racer Modified Series. Rodney Sanders will lead down the back straightaway. Sanders, the runner-up to Cale Westover last night, who finds himself lining up on the 4th row here of Star One Roofing Heat Race number 2. Sanders leading out in front, the 20 down the back straightaway. Jason Ingalls in the number 2 spot. Sean Gaddis files up into 3rd. Chris Huckabee, Michael Walker, a pair of Arms Series regulars, back in the 4th and 5th place spots as Cale Westover was trying to pick up a few positions in this one. He's worked by Rutherford and Jake Huckabee. Everybody pretty well lined up along the cushion of the Boothill Speedway, all chasing Rodney Sanders right now. That Hatfield-powered MB Customs, number 20. Working the cushion off of turn number 4. Jason Ingalls following along the high side of the racetrack in 2nd. Gaddis, Huckabee, and Walker still your top 5. Westover searching down the inside to no avail, though, off of turn 2. He'll have to file back up to the cushion in turns 3 and 4. Westover kind of mired in this one as your field continues to hustle the top side of the Boothill Speedway. 2 to go this time around. Rodney Sanders got a half a straightaway advantage over Jason Ingalls, just over 2 seconds for the Rocket that time around. 2.225 seconds for Sanders. White flag comes the air off of turn 4. 1 more lap to go. Cale Westover has pulled off into the infield here on the final lap of heat race number 2. Sanders will hit his marks along the cushion one more time. Rodney Sanders, your winner of Star One Roofing Heat Race number 2. Ingalls crosses in 2nd. Gaddis in 3rd. Huckabee and Walker the top 5. So heat race number 2 under the checkers. Sean Gaddis finishes in 3rd. 2nd goes to Jason Ingalls, and your heat race winner to Happy, Texas. The MB Customs Hatfield-powered Wichita Tank Racing. Paulson Rock Products, S&S Fishing and Rental number 20. Rodney Sanders, your winner of Star One Roofing Heat Race number 2. High-Tech Paving Heat Race number 3 set to roll out next. Chris Hennigan scheduled to roll front row on the inside of this one. The Panel Trust 16 out of Marshall, Texas will set the pace alongside Manuel Williams out of Fouke, Arkansas, and the Charlie Williams Painting number 24. Row number 2 to the inside from Sinton, Texas. It's Cody Leonard, the M&M Racing number 12. He'll line up alongside Jeff Needham, the Rendell's RV 99 out of Ennis, Texas. Row number 3 to the inside, Greenwood, Arkansas's Jason Payton, the Godfather's Pizza number 6, with Big Daddy to his outside, Joe Duval out of Claremore, Oklahoma, that Mel Hambleton Ford number 91. Your final row in this one, Dylan McCowan, the Empire Energy number 8 out of Urbana, Missouri, alongside Jack Sarton racing out of Terrell, Texas. Sarton in the Crawford Racing 47. 8 cars, 8 laps. High-Tech Paving Heat Race number 3. Here for the American Racer Modified Series, Hennigan and Williams on row number 1, ready to get to it 8 times around Boothill Speedway, and we're underway in high-tech paving heat race number 3. Field will work around to lap number 1. Chris Hennigan atop the score sheets on the opening lap. Joe Duvall is going to get racy here in the early goings of this one. Started 6th, already up to 3rd as he hustles by Cody Leonard. Big Daddy on the move here on the opening lap of this one. Will complete lap 2. It's Hennigan out on top. Manuel Williams in 2nd. Joe Duvall into the top 3. Cody Leonard, Jeff Needham, that's the early top 5. Manuel Williams upsets the car that time on exit turn number 2. That allows Duvall to close in. He'll dive to the hub of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. Going after the 24 for the runner-up spot. Not able to pull the trigger quite yet in that battle, but Williams is having trouble setting the car along the cushion. That time a little bit smoother along the top side of turn 2. Nonetheless, Big Daddy back down to the inside of Williams. He'll bob along the top shelf of the racetrack. Joe Duvall will pick up another spot by the 24 Emmanuel Williams. So Joe Duvall into 2nd by Williams as Chris Hennigan rolls uncontested out in front of this one. A solid run going for the Marshall, Texas racer. Just under a half a straightaway advantage now for Hennigan down the back straightaway. Duvall runs in 2nd. Manuel Williams in 3rd. Cody Leonard, now Dylan McCowan to the top 5 by Jeff Needham. McCowan struck by a bit of bad luck last night, running in the top 15 or so in that 8 car. Unable to finish the race last night in the 8. Nonetheless, looking pretty good here in heat race number 3 as the white flag drops out in front of your field. Chris Hennigan has one more lap to go here in high-tech paving heat race number 3. To the checkers in heat race number 3. Chris Hennigan will pick up the heat race win. Duvall will cross in 2nd. Manuel Williams will hang on to the 3rd place spot. McCowan and Leonard will take care of the top 5. So your top 3, Manuel Williams hangs on to the 3rd place spot. 2nd goes to Joe Duvall. Nice run from the 6th starting spot for Big Daddy in that one. And your heat race winner is that Panel Trust GRT Race Cars number 16 out of Marshall, Texas, Chris Hennigan, your winner of high-tech paving heat race number 3. 4th and final heat race set to roll out on the racetrack. Justin McCoy will be front row on the inside of Grandview, Texas. The Daugherty Brothers Construction 410 will start alongside Richard Brown Jr. out of Dallas, Texas. That Brown Motorsports 1H. Row number 2 to the inside, it's Max Eddie Thomas out of Quinlan, Texas. Max Eddie behind the wheel, the Honeycutt Sand and Gravel number 82, with James McCreary to his outside. McCreary in the Star One Roofing 13J out of Midlothian, Texas. Manuel Williams, the 2nd, will start 3rd row on the inside of Falk, Arkansas on the Williams Racing Team 24M. And TJ Tollison will roll to his outside. Tollison out of Bevins, Texas, the Hustlin' Hobo number 38T. Your final starter comes to you from Cedar Hill, Texas. That's Kevin Rowland. He's in the high-tech paving 4R. Your lineup here for the 4th and final American Racer Modified Series heat race. Richard Brown Jr. takes the 1H car along the top side of turns 1 and 2, wrestles that cushion to the lead off of turn 4. Oh, trouble out in front for that 1H car. Right front issues on the 1H of Brown. We'll keep an eye on that as Manuel Williams, the 2nd, took a pretty big bite out of the cushion as well in turn number 2. Brown is indeed going to roll to a halt as he's got right front suspension damage on the 1H. So Brown will keep it rolling around the racetrack. We'll see what goes on there. Some debris lays right there in turn number 4 as well. Manuel Williams, the second, took a pretty good bite out of the cushion as well through turns 1 and 2. Upset the car big time in the 24M. So we'll work to get the field realigned. Justin McCoy, the early leader in this one. McCoy finished 7th last night in the 410 car. Solid run for the Grandview, Texas racer on night number 1, trying to follow it up with a heat race win here in the final heat of the night for the American Racer Modified Series. Top 12 in passing points after the 4 heat races will lock directly into the A-Main Top 8 redraw. We'll have a couple of Day Motorsports B-Mains. Top 5 out of each of those will advance in. That'll give us 22 starters with a couple of provisional starters to fill out potentially a 24-car starting grid for tonight's 3,000 to win American Racer Modified Series A-Main here for night number 2 of the 4th Annual Summit Racing Equipment Southern Nationals. Here we go, back to green. Final heat of the night. Kevin Rowland found the cushion back there as well. Meanwhile, out in front, though, Max Eddie Thomas going to go after your leader. Those two going to race side by side. McCoy able to shake him off here on lap number 3. So Justin and McCoy trying to fend off Max Eddie Thomas here. Will come around to complete lap number 4, this time by halfway through your final heat race. For the American Racer Modified Series, McCoy, Max Eddie Thomas, James McCreary, Manuel Williams the second, now Kevin Rowland the top 5. Richard Brown and TJ Tollison make up the running order of this one. A pair of laps remain here in heat race number 4. Max Eddie Thomas still follows in the second place spot. James McCreary, Manuel Williams is second. Kevin Rowland still the top 5 with just 1 lap to go now. White flag waving out in front. Justin McCoy will take it down the back straightaway for the final time. Through turns 3 and 4 to the checkered flag, Justin McCoy claims the final heat of the night. The rest of the field going to cross under the checkered flag. Your top 3 of that one. James McCreary rounds out the podium. McCreary in the 13J. Second goes to Max Eddie Thomas. And your heat race winner, he's at a Grandview, Texas, at Daugherty Brothers Construction, Terry Phillips Racing, number 410, Justin McCoy. Your winner of the 4-7 Design Salon and Boutique heat race number 4. So final heat of the night goes to Justin McCoy. As that will do it for American Racer Modified Series heat racing action. Again, top 12 in passing points go straight in the A-Main. Top 8 will redraw. We'll come back with a couple of Day Motorsports B-Main shortly. In the meantime, we'll turn it back over to Josh here as we get set for USRA Limited Modified B-Main action.
Thank you, Bryce. Here is our first and only B-Main for the USRA Limited Modifieds. This race will be 10 laps in distance, and the top 6 cars will transfer to tonight's A feature. On the pole from Emory, Texas, driving the Honeycutt Sand and Gravel, Bel Air Heating and Air, McKinley Farms number 5 is Kevin Sestair. And on his outside from Grand Saline, Texas, driving the Texas Locomotive Solutions, Salt City Storage, Gothard Hay Farms number 47G of Casey Fowler. To the inside of row number 2 out of Bossier City, Louisiana, behind the wheel of the SimpleChurch.tv Envirovac Dark Horse Racing Shocks number 23 of Cody Tupper. And from Ponchatoula, Louisiana, behind the wheel of the Sheridan's Grass Cutting number 56 is Rodney Sheridan. To the inside of row number 3 out of Sibley, Louisiana, Jockeying the Williams Flooring and Construction Works Pro 1 transmission, Allen Roofing number 47cc is Connor Williams. And to his outside from Forney, Texas, piloting the Hilltop Lanes, Hayes Farm, Cherrelle Air Conditioning number 76 of Joe Findling. To the inside of row number 4 from DeBerry, Texas, he has the most wins here at Boothill Speedway, all in the Pro Mod division. In the Ray Ingalls Racing TE Glower Cattle Company, Ingalls Racing Performance number 210, it's Chase Hatton. And on his outside from Blossom, Texas, behind the wheel of the Whitakers Towing, Adams Lawn and Landscape Paris Inflatables number 94 is Kyle Blanton. Inside of row number 5, we will find a racer from Kaufman, Texas in the Bullet Racing Engine, Stan Hopkins Co. H&B Lubricants number 11 of Eric Luttrell. And on his outside, it will be the 3T of Jason Trevathan from Kemp, Texas. We're going to go 10 laps in distance. Top 6 cars advance to tonight's A feature for the USRA Limited Modifieds. Green flag is waving, and we are underway in consolation action. Rodney Sheridan gets a little bit crossed up in 1 and 2. That's going to stack up Kyle Blanton and Eric Luttrell, bringing out our first caution of the event. So the lights are out. We have no laps complete, and we're going to try to get 10 in. 6 cars going to the feature. Kevin Sestair and Casey Fowler get us set for green flag action. Sestair out to the early race lead as they roll through 1 and 2. Joe Findling down on the bottom of Casey Fowler. Can't get by, though. Fowler in the second spot with Findling in third. Chase Hatton, Cody Tupper, and Connor Williams rounds out your top 6. Kyle Blanton now challenges for the 6th and final transfer spot as they roll down the front stretch. And the 4-7 of Connor Williams gets a little bit crossed up at the exit of 2. That's going to open the door for Kyle Blanton, who now moves into the 6th and final transfer spot. Sestair, Findling, DeBerry, Texas native of Hatton, Fowler, Tupper, and Blanton, your top 6. Sheridan and Williams will battle for not last. Sheridan now in the 7th spot. He's 1 spot out looking in. Still Kevin Sestair leading the field as we are halfway home. 5 laps down and 5 to go. Joe Findling in the 2nd spot. Chase Hatton still in 3rd. Casey Fowler, Cody Tupper, and Kyle Blanton in your transfer spots. Rodney Sheridan now closing the gap on the 94 of Blanton as he tries to gain a spot in tonight's A feature for the USRA Limited Modifieds. Kevin Sestair still out front in the beautiful white and orange number 5 car. There'll be 3 laps to go this time as he crosses the ABC Auto Parts flag stand. White flag coming out this time. The 5 of Kevin Sestair will collect it. Keep your eye on the transfer spot. The 94 of Kyle Blanton gets crossed up in the middle of 3 and 4. Rodney Sheridan's going to have a shot. Sestair will roll into 3 and 4. He's going to win this one by several car lengths. Kevin Sestair takes the win. Second will be Joe Findling. Third is Chase Hatton. Fourth place goes to Casey Fowler. Fifth is Cody Tupper at the line. The sixth and final transfer spot goes to Kyle Blanton in the 94. He hangs on to it. Rodney Sheridan and Connor Williams will round out the field. So your 6 advancing cars to the A main. In 6th, the 94 of Kyle Blanton. 5th, the 23 of Cody Tupper. 4th, the 47G of Casey Fowler. Third place will be Chase Hatton. Second place, Joe Findling. And taking the win from Emory, Texas, the 5 of Kevin Sestair. And it is now time for your first of 2 USRA factory stock B mains, the first of which will line up in this way. From Texarkana, Texas, in the Central Air Conditioning and Plumbing Arklatex Animal Hospital Outlaw Race Cars, number 38 is Mike Wells. And on the outside pole from Gladewater, Texas, behind the wheel of the Mike Jones Consulting Sword Farm, Steve Harrington State Farm, number 215 of TJ Evans. To the inside of row number 2, out of Shreveport, Louisiana, driving the Daugherty Race Engines Club 20 Suspension, Wits, number 34P of Peyton Daugherty. And on his outside from Robeline, Louisiana, piloting the Scotty Shade Tree Performance Legacy Construction Pro Ship Transmission number 1 of Dalton Dubois. Your 5th starter is from Edgewood, Texas, behind the wheel of the Outlaw Race Cars, Best Engines, Wicked Fast Transmissions number 25 of Greg Hammett. And in 6th, from Forney, Texas, the Wills Point Automotive Everclear Auto Glass Synergy Environmental number 23J of Dustin Choate. Your 7th starter comes to us from Lindale, Texas, driving the Bells Construction number 87 is Andrew Albritton. And your Boothill Speedway track champion from Bossier City, Louisiana, in the Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, number 55M of Cody Myers. Your 9th starter is from Wascom, Texas, the 68 of James Martin. And in 10th from Edgewood, Texas, driving the Outlaw Race Cars, Best Engines, Patriot Racing, number 13 of Jeff Hammett. Your final starter comes to us from Sulphur, Louisiana, jockeying the Aero Mobile Home Movers, Cape Signs, and Metal Designs, number 00, Nicholas Morgan. USRA factory stock B mains will be 10 laps in distance. Top 5 cars in each of these 2 B mains will advance to tonight's USRA factory stock A feature. Mike Wells, TJ Evans, Peyton Daugherty, Dalton Dubois, Greg Hammett, Dustin Choate, Andrew Albritton, Cody Myers, James Martin, Jeff Hammett, and Nicholas Morgan. Here is your field. Lights are out. We're going 10 laps. Top 5 cars advance. Green flag in the air. We are USRA factory stock Consolation Racing. Mike Wells out to the early race lead as TJ Evans will pace behind him. Here comes Dalton Dubois challenging for the 2nd spot as they roll down the backstretch and into 3. TJ Evans holding his own in 3 and 4, but Dalton Dubois has him at the line. And your 5th and final transfer spot is Jeff Hammett in the 13 car through 1 circuit. He'll put Peyton Daugherty on the bubble there in the 34P car as Greg Hammett in the 25 gets all sideways coming out of 2. 25 of Greg Hammett going to lose lots of ground there. The 34P of Peyton Daugherty still in the 5th and final transfer spot. Behind him they battle. It's Dustin Choate, Cody Myers, and Andrew Albritton battling for every inch of real estate on the racetrack. The 13 of Jeff Hammett in the 4th spot, and the 34P of Peyton Daugherty trying to close in on him. Mike Wells, your race leader, and they're side by side for 2nd. Give it to TJ Evans that time in the 215. Dalton Dubois in the 3rd spot with Jeff Hammett and Peyton Daugherty rounding out the 5. transfer spots. And here comes Cody Myers trying to make something out of nothing. Out of turn 4, Cody Myers has the 5th and final transfer spot in the 55M. That's why he's the Boothill Speedway track champion. He'll drive around the outside of Dustin Choate out of 4, passing Daughtery, and at the line he had 5th. He's still in the 5th spot, and looks like problems for the 38 of Mike Wells, your race leader, being closed in on by the 215 of TJ Evans. Now we got a 3-car battle for the race lead as the laps wind down in this one. We got 5 down and 5 to go. It'll be 4 to go this time at the line. The 215 of TJ Evans will have the race lead out of 4. Move TJ Evans into your race lead. Dalton Dubois in the 2nd spot. Mike Wells in 3rd. Cody Myers in 4th. And in the 5th and final transfer spot, the 13 of Jeff Hammett. Dustin Choate, Peyton Daughtery, Andrew Albritton, James Martin, Greg Hammett, and Nicholas Morgan all have some battling to do if they want to be in tonight's USRA Factory Stock A main. Dalton Dubois now will get around the 38 of Mike Wells and into the 2nd spot. Evans, Dubois, Wells, Myers, and Hammett with 2 to go. Dustin Choate battling for the 5th and final transfer spot. Peyton Daughtery's also right there to capitalize if anyone makes a mistake. And here comes Daughtery doing just that. He's going to get by Choate down the back straightaway, and he's in the 6th spot with the white flag in the air for TJ Evans. Out of turn 4, he's got an opening on Jeff Hammett. Will he make a run? Hammett's in the 5th spot. Daughtery's in 6th. We're only taking the top 5. Here comes Dustin Choate back to the inside. He's going to make contact with the 34P of Daughtery and send him into the infield. Checkered flag waving for TJ Evans. 2nd place goes to Dalton Dubois. 3rd is Mike Wells. 4th, Cody Myers. And in the 5th and final transfer spot will be Greg Hammett. Andrew Albritton, James Martin, Greg Hammett, and Nicholas Morgan will round out your running field. The 23J of Dustin Choate comes across to finish the race. The 34P of Peyton Daughtery will do the same. So your 5 advancing cars: in 5th, the 13 of Jeff Hammett; 4th, the 55M of Cody Myers; 3rd, the 38 of Mike Wells; 2nd, the 1 of Dalton Dubois; and taking the win out of Gladewater, Texas, in the 215, it's TJ Evans. And here is your 2nd of 2. 2nd and final B main for the USRA Factory Stocks. On the pole from Dallas, Texas, in the Texas Auto Sales Smiley's Racing Products Sniper Speed number 1W of Walter Hamilton. And on his outside from Provençal, Louisiana, driving the MFT Resources Cornerstone Solutions Triple H Services number 15X, Dakota Wyatt. To the inside of row number 2 from Vidor, Texas, in the Green Tech Sales Royal Purple Motor Oil Chapman Motorsports number 1H of Jared Herring. And on the outside from Wills Point, Texas, behind the wheel of the 2.5 chassis, Big Dave's Racing Engines, Dark Horse Racing Shocks, Anderson Roofing number 98, Chris Davis. To the inside of row number 2 out of Provençal, Louisiana, in the LCC Trucking Outlaw Race Cars Jones Septic number B21 is Bubba Jones. And on his outside from Terrell, Texas, the Wills Point Automotive, Wills Point Auto Sales Synergy Environmental JCR Racing number 23 of Don Jensen. To the inside of row number 4 from Kilgore, Texas, the 3D Motorsports number 13X of Austin Hale. And from Bossier City, Louisiana, the 10 of Matt Ebarb. The 95B is Brandon Bettis. The 76 is Joe Findling. And scheduled to be your final starter, the FOUR of Ryder Quintillo. Not going to make the call for this one. Green flag is in the air. 10 laps, taking the top 5. Green flag waves, and they are side by side all through the field for every inch of space. The B21 of Bubba Jones will hold the 5th and final transfer spot as they roll through 3 and 4. Walter Hamilton, your race leader. Dakota Wyatt in 2nd. 3rd is Jared Herring. 4th, Chris Davis. And in 5th is Bubba Jones. Bubba Jones now peeking to the inside of Chris Davis through 3 and 4. Still Hamilton, Wyatt, Herring, Jones in 4th now. In the 98 of Davis in the 5th and final transfer spot. Jensen, Findling, Bettis, Hale, and Ebarb will round out the field at the moment. Bubba Jones now has 3rd out of turn 2 after putting Jared Herring a spot back. He's going to set his sights on the 15X of Dakota Wyatt through 3 and 4. He now slides up to 2nd, move Bubba Jones to 2nd. Walter Hamilton way out front in the 1W out of Dallas, Texas. The B21 of Bubba Jones in the 2nd spot. Jared Herring, Dakota Wyatt, and Chris Davis in your transfer positions with Joe Findling and Don Jensen in striking distance. Walter Hamilton rolling right along with this one in the 1W. Bubba Jones in 2nd, Jared Herring 3rd. Dakota Wyatt, Chris Davis, Joe Findling, Don Jensen, Brandon Bettis, Austin Hale. Matt Ebarb will pull off the speedway. We're going to have 7 laps complete this time and 3 to go. Two laps left for the 1 car as the B21 of Bubba Jones tries to reel him in. Gains some ground on him, but time is running out. 1 lap to go this time. White flag in the air. Joe Findling may have a shot at the 5th and final transfer spot. He rides about 6 car lengths behind the 98 of Chris Davis as Hamilton will lead us into turn 3. Coming into turn 4 for the final time in factory stock preliminary competition, the 1W of Walter Hamilton will take the win. Bubba Jones in 2nd, 3rd is Jared Herring, 4th Dakota Wyatt, 5th is Chris Davis. Joe Findling will come home short. Don Jensen in 7th, Brandon Bettis 8th, and in 9th the 13X of Austin Hale. So your advancing cars from that one, the 98 of Chris Davis in 5th, 4th, the 15X of Dakota Wyatt. 3rd will be the 1H of Jared Herring. 2nd, the B21 of Bubba Jones. And taking the win from Dallas, Texas, the 1W of Walter Hamilton. That will do it for USRA Factory Stock B main competition. I'll turn it over to Bryce. He'll get you set for what's next.
Thank you very much, Josh. Getting set for the first of 2 Day Motorsports B mains here for the American Racer Modified Series. We'll go 10 laps in distance. Top 5 drivers will advance into tonight's $3,000 to win American Racer Modified Series A main. Your lineup of B main number 1 will look like this. Manuel Williams will be front row on the inside of Falk, Arkansas. The 24 is outside from Midlothian, Texas. The 2C, that's Chris Huckabee. Row 2 on the inside will find Michael Walker out of McAllen, Texas. The 34 and is outside from Sinton, Texas. Will be Cody Leonard in car 12. Row 3 to the inside, Kevin Rutherford, the 9 out of Flower Mound, Texas, alongside David McDaniel, the 18D out of Sanger, Texas. Row 4 to be Richard Brown Jr. out of Dallas, Texas, the 1H, alongside Jason Payton from Greenwood, Arkansas, in the 6 car. Row number 5 to the inside, we will find Cale Westover to Blair, Oklahoma, last night's feature winner. The 125 will start 9th on the grid with Jack Sarton to his outside, the 47 out of Terrell, Texas. So Cale Westover, after the win last night, didn't finish the heat race earlier in the evening, finds himself starting 9th here in Day Motorsports B main number 1. Again, 10 laps, top 5 advance. Of course, we'll have a couple of series of provisionals as well. Missing a few cars out of the initial lineup of this one. There comes Michael Walker. Colton Horner out of race early in the 56. He's in B main number 2, so Colton Horner in that 56 car will surely exit in this one. We'll get the 34 of Michael Walker put in the line. Missing Jack Sarton in the 47 as well. Richard Brown Jr. also missing from the lineup of this one. Colton Horner scheduled to go in B main number 2. So caution out on the racetrack for the 12 of Cody Leonard, stopped at the top side of turns 3 and 4. One lap completed of 10. We'll work on getting the field realigned. So Jack Sarton and Richard Brown Jr. scratches out of this first B main. Again, top 5 advance. We've got one lap completed at 10 as the wrecker crew will take care of the 12. So caution lights go down. We'll get set for the restart here. One lap completed of 10 and Day Motorsports B main number 1 looking for the top 5. Manuel Williams with control of the restart. He will bring him around to refire in turn 4. Oh, look out. Manuel Williams off of the banking in turn number 1. That thing did not turn at all. Went straight off the end of turn number 1. Car just did not turn for the 24 of Williams. So hearing Manuel Williams is okay, sounding like the throttle hung wide open on the 24 as he Dukes of Hazzarded off the end of turn 1. But good news, driver is okay. Hate to see that though for the 24 of Williams when the throttle hung open on that MB Customs. So a wild start to B main number 1. Cody Leonard had to go off on the hook. And now Williams off. Of course, Richard Brown out one lap down late to staging. And then Jack Sarton has scratched out of this B main as well. Of course, Sarton a likely candidate for a provisional as he was 10th in the standings coming into tonight. We'll see how those shake out as some top contenders are in B mains here tonight. including the driver that sits third in the points this weekend, Michael Walker, who looked to have all the momentum here in the late season for the American Racer Modified Series. But this weekend has been none too kind to the 34 as he drops nearly 100 points out of the lead into the third place spot. So working to get Williams' 24 car cleared from turn one. Again, a wild ride there for Manuel Williams. Throttle stuck on entry at turn one. Just shot straight off the banking in that 24. Get him cleared from the outside of the racetrack. Chris Huckabee will inherit the lead. Huckabee, absent from last night's action here at the Boothill Speedway, sits sixth in the point standings in the CRH Motorsports number 2C. Michael Walker, who mentioned third in the standings in the 34. Jason Payton out of Greenwood, Arkansas, making the trip down, finished 14th last night. Kevin Rutherford in the top 10 last night in car number 9 as well. And of course, last night's feature winner, the 125 of Cale Westover, right now in the final transfer spot as David McDaniel and Richard Brown Jr. round out the running order here of Day Motorsports B main number 1. Just about have turn 1 and 2 cleared and ready for competition to continue in this one. A mere one lap completed here in your first of 2 B mains. Looking for the top 5 drivers to advance in tonight's 3,000 win. A main in the American Racer Modified Series night number 2 of the Summit Racing Equipment USRA Southern Nationals. Appreciate everyone in attendance here tonight at Boothill Speedway, as well as everyone tuned in on Racing Dirt TV and Race On Texas. Coverage will continue tomorrow night as well on Championship Saturday, the 4th annual Summit Racing Equipment USRA Southern Nationals. A $4,000 top prize for the modifieds tomorrow night, so the stakes will go up even more for these ARMS modifieds to wrap up the weekend here in Greenwood, Louisiana, and wrap up a great 2021 racing season for the American Racer Modified Series. So there we go. Furled up green flag will be displayed down the front straightaway this time. Caution lights will go down around the Boothill Speedway. So here we go, ready to get back to it in B main action. Day Motorsports B main number 1, back to the green. Jason Payton trying to take advantage in car 6 up to the outside of the racetrack. Michael Walker skating up the banking, and that 34, he's going to get cranked sideways on exit turn number 2. Walker trying to get that 34 car beneath him, and that thing is going the wrong direction for Michael Walker. Meanwhile, out in front front. Chris Huckabee wrestles the top side of the racetrack. Look out, Jason Payton. He's above the cushion. He's going to allow 2 cars to work by. As Cale Westover will roll into the second place spot, Kevin Rutherford will take over third. Payton still wrestling the car along the top side of the racetrack, trying to keep the 6th car in a transfer spot. Richard Brown in 1 lap down. He came out late to the start of that one. Michael Walker in the final transfer position in the 34. As Brown and David McDaniel round out the running order. We're halfway through this one. 5 in, 5 to go. Chris Huckabee rolling along the top side of the racetrack. Cale Westover, last night's feature winner, following along the cushion. Kevin Rutherford in third. Jason Payton, Michael Walker, still the top 5. Cale Westover closing in on Chris Huckabee here in the second half of this one. Huckabee may have to deal with the Wichita Tank Racing 125 before the drop of the checker. This one as Westover applies pressure to Huckabee through turns 1 and 2. Drops down to the inside of the racetrack. They'll go side by side on exit turn number 2. Westover trying to grab a hold of something along the bottom. He'll drive deep to turns 3 and 4 though, but the momentum will carry the 2C back into the top spot over Westover. Just a couple laps to go that time around. Your top 2 will see the white flag wave. And we'll work the final lap at Day Motorsports B main number 1. 1 more lap to go and the race is on for the lead. Side by side for the top spot here on the final circuit down the back straightaway. They're door to door. Working to the checkers. Westover will drive deep one more time, but off the top side of turn number 4, Chris Huckabee wins B main number 1. Rest of the field going to cross under the checkered flag. Your top 5 finishers. Michael Walker holds on for the 5th and final transfer spot. Jason Payton crosses in 4th. Kevin Rutherford takes 3rd. 2nd goes to Cale Westover. And your B main winner, he's out of Midlothian, Texas. It's an MB Customs for the CRH Motorsports, Elmwood Custom Homes, Texas Hydraulic and Equipment Company. And Aesthetic and Implant Dentistry number 2C, Chris Huckabee, your winner of Day Motorsports B main number 1. So Chris Huckabee, Cale Westover, Kevin Rutherford, Jason Payton, and Michael Walker, your top 5 transfers out of Day Motorsports B main number 1. Day Motorsports B main number 2 set to roll out next. Sean Gaddis will be front row on the inside, the 7 out of Diana, Texas. He lines up with Manuel Williams, the 2nd, his outside out of Falk, Arkansas in the 24M. Row 2 on the inside, it's TJ Tollison out of Bevins, Texas. He's in the 38T with David Tanner to the outside, the D25 out of Wichita Falls, Texas. Row 3 to the inside, Kevin Rowland. Rolling out of Cedar Hill, Texas, the 4R with Jeff Needham to his outside, the 99 out of Ennis, Texas. Row 4 scheduled to have Jake Huckabee, the 18J out of Texarkana, and to his outside will be Mason Williams, the 24W out of Falk, Arkansas. Final scheduled starter will be Colton Horner in the 56. So Jake Huckabee ducks off into the infield at the start of this one. So we will lose Jake Huckabee here on lap number 1, but we'll score the opening circuit to the 24M of Manuel Williams, the 2nd. Hang on, David Tanner in that 3rd place spot. He'll get his feet back beneath him as Sean Gaddis races by the D25. Williams, Gaddis, Tanner, Needham, Kevin Rowland, the early top 5. Looks like TJ Tollison actually up in that 4th place spot. Transponder not hitting on the 38T car. He'll roll up into 4th ahead of Jeff Needham. So Kevin Rowland actually on the outside looking in the 4R. Williams the second hits his marks along the top side of the racetrack. It's Williams, Gaddis, Tanner, Needham, and now Tollison back into the fourth place spot as he's sideways in front of Kevin Rowland. Rowland going to sneak by the 38. But the caution flag will come out. So TJ Tollison around in turn number 2 draws the caution halfway through Day Motorsports B main number 2, 5 in, 5 to go. Tollison snaps the car around in turns 1 and 2. Quickly get him tagged to the back here. I believe we're going to go right back to green. Coming out of turn 4 with Manuel Williams the second out in front. Indeed we do. Back to the green, 5 in, 5 to go in Day Motorsports B main number 2. Williams the second out to the lead. Will complete lap number 6 this time around. Just 4 more laps to go in a B main number 2. Kevin Rowland will inherit a transfer spot off of Tollison's misfortune in the 38T. So Rowland into the final transfer spot. Just ahead of him, Jeff Needham runs in 4th. 3rd is David Tanner. 2nd is Sean Gaddis. As Manuel Williams the second will continue to hit his marks along the top side of the racetrack. 2 to go this time around in Day Motorsports B main number 2. Flag waves, 1 to go in B main number 2. As a checkered flag waves, Manuel Williams the second will claim the B feature win. That will wrap up B main action here for the American Racer Modified Series. So your top 5 to transfer in. Final transfer position goes to Kevin Rowland in the 4R. 4th goes to Jeff Needham. 3rd to David Tanner. 2nd to Sean Gaddis. And your heat race winner is out of Falk, Arkansas. He pilots the Charlie Williams Painting Pro 1 Transmission and Auto and Williams Racing Team 24M. Manuel Williams the second, your winner of Day Motorsports B main number 2.
All right, folks, it is now time for feature race action here for the USRA Southern Nationals presented by Summit Racing Equipment at Boothill Speedway. First up will be the A feature for the USRA Limited Modifieds. It will line up like this. On the pole from Frankston, Texas in the 79 Express Trucking Day Motorsports Ingalls Racing Performance number 79 is Tyler Parker. On the outside pole from Marshall, Texas, behind the wheel of the True Love Law Firm 5-Star Builders JCT Auto Sales number 69, Derek Grigsby. To the inside of row number 2 from Colfax, Louisiana, piloting the B&D Motorsports Express Race Cars Henry's Auto Salvage number 88M of Joshua Martin. And on his outside from Greenville, Texas in the 517 A&B Diesel Performance BDR Motorsports number 20D of Rowdy Day. To the inside of row number 3 from Sweet Lake, Louisiana, aboard the Wilkerson Transportation Ingalls Racing Performance Cajun Pools and Spas number 78, Wyatt Wilkerson. And from Texarkana, Texas, behind the wheel of the Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital Presto Magic Clean Ingalls Racing Performance number 35 of Aaron Roy. Your 7th starter is from Hallsville, Texas, driving the Mack Tools Bobby Skinner Race Engines JCT Auto Sales number C88, Carson Bradley. And starting 8th from Happy, Texas, behind the wheel of the Western Flyer Race Cars number 02, it's the Rocket Rodney Sanders. To the inside of row number 5, out of Gray, Texas, in the Straight Up Nutrition and Energy RPM Motorsports Jack Spring Electric number 18 is Stephen Hogan. And your 10th starter from Greenville, Texas, driving the Knowles Performance Engines Western Flyer Race Cars Rowdy Auto Sales number 5X of Bo Day. Your 11th starter is from Marksville, Louisiana, driving the K1 Contractors, Joel's Auto Sales, Sugarland Garden Soil and Materials. Number K1 is Stephen Guidry. And from Houghton, Louisiana, in the A-Mark Metals, Arclitex Shop Builders, Arclitex Garage Doors, number 9R is Baron Prince. To the inside of row number 7 out of Forney, Texas, in the Synergy Environmental Extreme Electric CNP Pump Service, number 56 is Stephen Ashcraft. And from Gladewater, Texas, driving the RKT and Operating Incorporated Nickens Brothers Racing Engines Rock and Roll Whataburger, number 47X of Kelly Lockey. Moving to the inside of row number 8, and we find out of Cleveland, Texas, in the AOK Auto Sales, CD Auto and Tire Seals Hot Rod Shop, number 87A of David Anderson. And on his outside from Red Lick, Texas, piloting the Sarah with Griffin Realtors, Vines Construction Shirtlift Custom Tile, number 2 of Adam Roy. Your B-Main winner from Emory, Texas, is piloting the Honeycutt Sand and Gravel Bel Air Heating and Air, McKinley Farms, number 5. It's Kevin Sestair. And on his outside from Forney, Texas, driving the Hilltop Lanes, Hayes Farm, Sherelle Air Conditioning, number 76, is Joe Findling. To the inside of row number 10, your 19th starter is from DeBerry, Texas, piloting the Ingalls Racing TE Glower Cattle Company, Ingalls Racing Performance, number 210 of Chase Hatton. And on his outside from Grand Saline, Texas, behind the wheel of the Texas Locomotive Solutions, Salt City Storage, Gothard Hay Farms, number 47G of Casey Fowler. To the inside of row number 11 from Bossier City, Louisiana, jockeying the SimpleChurch.tv and Virovac Dark Horse Racing Shocks, number 23 is Cody Tupper. And your 22nd starter is from Blossom, Texas, in the Whitakers, towing Adams Lawn and Landscape Paris Inflatables, number 94, it's Kyle Blanton. Finally, starting 23rd, your provisional starter out of Kaufman, Texas, in the Bullet Racing Engine, Stan Hopkins Co. H&B Lubricants, number 11, is Eric Luttrell. We're going to go 20 laps in distance for the limited modified A main for the USRA Southern Nationals. Tyler Parker, Derek Grigsby, Joshua Martin, Rowdy Day, Wyatt Wilkerson, Aaron Roy, Carson Bradley, Rodney Sanders, Stephen Hogan, and Bo Day, your top 10. Here we go. We are feature racing at the hill for the Summit Racing Equipment USRA Southern Nationals. Cars side by side as they roll down the front boulevard. The 69 of Derek Grigsby, your race leader, out of 2. And here comes Rowdy Day giving him chase on the outside. They'll both pull around the outside of the 79 of Tyler Parker. Derek Grigsby takes lap number 1. Rowdy Day led all 20 laps last night. Derek Grigsby in the 69 hoping to reverse the roles and take the win on your Friday night portion of the USRA Southern Nationals. 69 of Grigsby, Rowdy Day in second, Aaron Roy in third, and caution flag going to come out for the 2 car of Adam Roy, who's stuck at the top of turn 2, pulled to a stop. That'll bring out the first caution with 2 laps complete in the USRA Limited Modified Feature Race. Lights are out. We got 2 laps complete and 18 to go. And the lights are back on now. Not sure why, but we're going to stay under caution here for the time being. Lights out again. Looks like we're going to give her a go this time. Green flag in the air for the USRA Limited Modifieds. Derek Grigsby with a good restart in the 69, as well as the 35 of Aaron Roy, who's going to challenge Rowdy Day for the second spot. They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn number 3. They're side by side through 3 and 4. Aaron Roy down on the bottom. Rowdy Day sticks to it up on the top. He's going to solidify his spot in second. Aaron Roy in third. Fourth is Joshua Martin, and in fifth is Rodney Sanders. Lots of side-by-side action all throughout the field in this one. Derek Grigsby pretty much alone out front for the time being, but Rowdy Day not far behind. The 35 of Aaron Roy right there, as well as Rodney Sanders gets around the outside of Joshua Martin. Move Rodney Sanders into the 4th spot. Joshua Martin rounding out the top 5, and here comes Bo Day in the 5X out of 10th. From the 10th starting position, now with a slide job on the 9R of Baron Prince, trying to move himself into the 6th spot. Now Rowdy Day gets a little bit closer to your race leader, Derek Grigsby. We've got 7 laps down this time and 13 to go, and we got one turnaround in the middle of 1 and 2. That's the 18 of Stephen Hogan. 69 of Grigsby going to have to get on the binders there to avoid him, but the caution flag comes out, no harm done. That'll be our second caution of the event. 7 laps are gone, and we're going to have 13 left when we get back going. Lights are out, 7 gone and 13 to go. Derek Grigsby, your race leader. Rowdy Day choosing the outside. Aaron Roy in the 3rd spot. Rodney Sanders and Joshua Martin rounding out your top 5. Here we go. They'll shuffle down through 1 and 2, and some contact made there deep in the field. That'll turn around some cars in 1 and 2. The 18 of Stephen Hogan involved again, as well as the K1 of Stephen Guidry. The 5 of Kevin Sestair also involved. Lights are out. We're going to give it another go. 13 laps to go for the 69 of Derek Grigsby. Aaron Roy with a great restart that time in the 35. He's down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Let's see if he tries to slide up and block the 20D. He will not get there. C88 of Carson Bradley off the pace, it appears, at least for the moment. He'll get it going back at a reasonable speed. Will stay green. Though it appears the 9R of Baron Prince having some trouble. That's going to slow up most of the field toward the back, trying to avoid getting into the back of the 9R machine. The 69 of Derek Grigsby, your race leader still. The 20D of Rowdy Day in second. Third is Aaron Roy. Fourth, Rodney Sanders. And keep your eye on the 5X of Bo Day. He's a big mover. He's moved from 10th to 5th. The halfway point. Now we have 11 laps down and 9 to go. Rowdy Day's got a good run on Derek Grigsby down the backstretch. He'll peek his nose to the inside. Here comes Rowdy Day trying to get around the inside of Derek Grigsby. Grigsby will hold on to it this time. Rowdy Day has some major speed coming off the exit of turn 2. And here he comes through 3 and 4, trying to pull ahead of the 69. Rowdy Day is going to lead this lap. Move Rowdy Day into your position in front. The 20D of Rowdy Day, your new race leader. The 69 of Derek Grigsby in second. 35 of Aaron Roy is in the third spot. Rodney Sanders wants it. Bo Day in the fifth spot. Joshua Martin, Tyler Parker, Joe Findling, Wyatt Wilkerson, and Baron Prince rounding out your top 10 for the moment. 47G of Casey Fowler and the 11 of Eric Luttrell get tangled up. They'll pull into the infield simultaneously as we're getting late in this one. 5 laps to go, but a caution flag coming out now with 5 to go. 15 laps down and 5 laps to go. You have a new race leader in the 20D of Rowdy Day. 69 of Derek Grigsby in the second spot. Third is Aaron Roy. Fourth, Rodney Sanders and Bo Day rounding out the top 5 in the 5X. Joshua Martin, Tyler Parker, Joe Findling, Wyatt Wilkerson, Baron Prince, your top 10. Kelly Lockey, Carson Bradley, Adam Roy, Stephen Ashcraft, David Anderson, Stephen Guidry, Cody Tupper, Kevin Sestair, Chase Hatton, and Stephen Hogan, the rest of your running order. Lights are out. We got 5 to go. Who's it going to be? Rowdy Day, Derek Grigsby, Aaron Roy, and Rodney Sanders and Bo Day so far have been the cream of the crop through this one. Grigsby up high on the cushion in the 69 car as the 35 of Aaron Roy gets a spectacular restart. He's going to challenge for the race lead with Rowdy Day, and here comes Bo in the 5X. It's going to be Day, Roy, Grigsby, Day, and Sanders, your top 5. 4 to go. It'll be more like 3.5 at this point. Here comes Aaron Roy to the inside of Rowdy Day. Can't make anything happen just yet. Top 3 cars appear to be breaking out, but here comes Bo Day back to the inside of Grigsby. It's Day, Roy, and Grigsby out front. Day and Sanders rounding out the top 5 with Martin, Parker, Findling, Adam Roy, and Kelly Lockheed rounding out your top 10. Cody Tupper's going to pull to the infield. Will stay green. White flag in the air for Rowdy Day. 1 more lap to go. Here comes Rodney Sanders. He's going to take the 4th spot at the line. They're going to battle side by side. And Aaron Roy out of 2. He might have one last shot at him down the back straightaway and into 3 and 4 for the final time. Rowdy Day rides through the middle. Aaron Roy going to pace right behind him. Derek Grigsby up high. Rowdy Day wins it. 2nd is Aaron Roy. 3rd will be Derek Grigsby. 4th, Bo Day, and Rodney Sanders rounding out your top 5. He's out of the car. Y'all make some noise for him. Your USRA Limited Modified Feature winner, Rowdy Day in the 20D. All right, Rowdy, man, well, you won last night, leading every lap tonight. I think you led 10 or 12 of them. You had a good car, though. You were able to get past Grigsby there on one of the restarts. Just take us through that race.
Yeah, we just got up on the wheel, and the car done the rest. I'm just along for the ride, and the car's going really good, and I just hope we can finish out a good weekend and with a good finish tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. Well, tell us about everybody who helps you out again this weekend.
Tony Batt, A&B Diesel Performance, Vicky's teams, Real Estate, Buying and Selling BDR, my brother, Quality Intermodal, JD Installations, Quick Stop Tire Shop, Campbell AC and Heat, Dennis and Son, Ramboy, it's my dude there, he helps me a lot, David Clark, my mom, my dad, my family. I mean, I have a big team, and I'm very blessed.
All right, man. Well, you're set up to start on the pole. We're not quite sure what the payout's going to be, but it'll be good nonetheless. Are you excited about tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just hope we can just continue to keep doing good.
All right, y'all give it up for him, the 20D of Rowdy Day, your USRA Limited Modified Feature winner. right, folks, here is your feature lineup for the USRA Tuners. On the pole from Blanchard, Louisiana, in the Mikey's one-stop shop, Aero Race Wheels, 3B Signs and Things, number 777, it's Mikey Brunker. And on his outside from Texarkana, Arkansas, the 32C of Chris Scott. To the inside of row number 2 from Tyler, Texas, in the Lens Performance, Pobson Sons Automotive number C73, it's Carmelia Shelton. And in the 4th place starting spot out of Granbury, Texas, in the Abilene Battery and Golf Cart number 7S, Stephen Bevels. To the inside of row number 3 from Mesquite, Texas, in the Lens Performance, Pops & Sons Automotive number 17T is Daniel Thompson. And from New Boston, Texas, in the Victory Graphics Riggit Racing number 72M is Michaela Strom. From Marshall, Texas, the 14 is Chris Collier. From Nash, Texas, the 32L of Luke Wheat. Big Sandy, Texas, Racer Dakota Kitchen in the 20. The 69 is Cade Gardner, Clay Gardner, Ben McDuff, Cameron Smith, and Carl Orton is your field. Green flag in the air. Here we go for the USRA Tuners. We're going 12 laps in distance for the USRA Tuner A feature. The 777 of Mikey Brunker out to the early race lead, but here comes Chris Scott around the outside trying to take away the race lead. Brunker's going to lead lap number 1. Chris Scott in the 2nd spot, Stephen Bevels in 3rd, and we got one a little bit crossed up there in 1. The 20 of Dakota Kitchen will get it reeled back in, and we'll stay green. The F5 of Ben McDuff looks like he's pulling off at the corner of turn number 1. And Mikey Brunker still your race leader. Stephen Bevels coming, though, in the 7S. Last night's winner in the USRA Tuners. The 17T of Daniel Thompson in the 3rd spot. He's battling with Chris Scott as they roll down the back straightaway. We've got 3 of them going side by side, 3 side-by-side battles as Stephen Bevels takes the lead on lap number 3. 3 laps down and 9 to go for the 7S of Stephen Bevels. Mikey Brunker in the 2nd spot with Daniel Thompson running 3rd. Chris Collier, Chris Scott, Luke Wheat, Michaela Strom, Dakota Kitchen, Carl Orton, Cameron Smith, and Clay Gardner is your running field. Also, Carmelia Shelton in the C73. Daniel Thompson gets around the outside of the slower car of Carmelia Shelton. And they're going to go side by side, he and Mikey Brunker into turn 3 as the 7S of Stephen Bevels continues to lead the field. It's Bevels, Thompson, Brunker, Collier, and Scott. Wheat, Strom, Kitchen, Orton, and Smith, your top 10. There'll be 4 laps to go this time around for the 7S of Stephen Bevels. Now Luke Wheat comes around the outside of Chris Scott. Move Luke Wheat into a top 5 position. There'll be 3 to go this time around. Slower car of Clay Gardner now being gained upon by the 7S of Stephen Bevels. He has a healthy lead over the 17T of Daniel Thompson. Bevels able to pull to the inside of Clay Gardner. So still Bevels, Thompson, Brunker, Collier, and Wheat, your top 5 with 2 laps to go. White flag in the air for the white number 7S. 1 to go for the USRA Tuners. Checkered flag waving, the 7S of Stephen Bevels takes the win in the USRA Tuners. Second will be Daniel Thompson. Third is Mikey Brunker. Fourth, Chris Collier. And rounding out the top 5, the 32L of Luke Wheat. Y'all give it up for, make some noise for the 7S of Stephen Bevels. All right, Stephen, well, that's 2 for 2. You took the win last night. You came back, started 4th. First couple of laps were led by the 777, but you got back around him, and you took the lead in this one.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the fans for coming out tonight. Appreciate track crew giving us a good service. USRA for inviting us to the show. Thanks, Dwayne Hicks, Abilene Battery and Golf Cart, let me run the ride. Anthony Vandenberg Motorsports, he's the one that built it. My wife for letting me run.
All right, man. Well, you'll be with us all weekend?
I'll be back tomorrow night, try again.
All right, y'all give it up for the 7S of Stephen Bevels, your USRA Tuner feature winner. All right, folks, here is your USRA Factory Stock A main event. Here's your lineup. On the pole from Longview, Texas, in the Twin City Towing number 81 is Ricky Ingalls. On his outside from Cut and Shoot, Texas, behind the wheel of the DAF chassis number 27 is Dalton Faulkner. To the inside of row number 2 from Shreveport, Louisiana, in the Twin City Towing number 10X is Josh Daughtery. And on his outside from Mineral Springs, Arkansas, the Remax number 32R of Neil Kemp. To the inside of row number 3 from Ball, Louisiana, in the Rick's Auto Sales number 34, that's Rodney Howell. Excuse me, it's CJ Howell. My apologies. CJ Howell starting in the 5th spot in the 34. And on the outside from Shreveport, Louisiana, in the WCH Racing Engines number 24-7 is Sean Graham. To the inside of row number 4 from Bossier City, Louisiana, in the Dales Pavement number 12, that's Bo Perry. And on his outside from Vivian, Louisiana, driving the Twin City Towing number 87, that's Doug Vick Jr. Your 9th starter is from Sinton, Texas. She drives the Alberson Motorsports number 9C. That's Caitlin Leonard. And on the outside from Blossom, Texas, piloting the Whitaker's Towing number 4B is Kyle Blanton. Your 11th starter is from Cleveland, Texas, driving the CC Custom Bodies number 21S of Calvin Tucker. And on the outside, your 12th starter from 7 Points, Texas in the Valerie Bomb, the Racing Realtor number 197, Peanut Fitch. The 215 is TJ Evans. The 1W, Walter Hamilton. The 1 is Dalton Dubois, B21, Bubba Jones, 38, Mike Wells, 1H, Jared Herring, 55M, Cody Myers, 15X, Dakota Wyatt, 13, Jeff Hammett, 98, Chris Davis, 23, Don Jensen, and the 87 of Andrew Albritton. Green flag in the air. We are racing for the USRA Factory Stock A-Main. Dalton Faulkner leads him out of 2 and down the back straightaway. He's going to pull ahead by half a car length as they enter turn 3. It's Faulkner, Ingalls, Kemp, Daughtery, and Graham, your top 5. As they roll right along through 1 and 2, out of 2 and down the back straightaway. Faulkner again pulling ahead of the rest of the field just like he did last night in night number 1 of the USRA Southern Nationals. The 24/7 of Sean Graham sent into the infield. That's going to do it for Sean's night in the WCH Racing Engines 24/7 machine owned by Mike Hurst. Dalton Faulkner has a half straightaway advantage over the 81 of Ricky Ingalls as the 32R of Neil Kemp tries to close in on the 81 as well. The 10X of Josh Daughtery in the 4th spot with Bo Perry rounding out the top 5. Lots of side-by-side action through the middle toward the back of the field. A couple of big gatherings of cars fighting for each and every position. These positions are so valuable in these feature races. They're going to line them up for tomorrow night based on points from each of the first 2 nights. And we got one off the pace. It's the 10X of Josh Daughtery, who was in the 4th spot. That's going to bring out the first caution of the factory stock A-Main. 5 laps down and 15 to go. The 10X of Josh Daughtery has some problems there. Boothill Speedway would like to let everybody know about an event happening tomorrow morning. It's the 5th annual Arclitex Racers Swap Meet. Starts at 8 a.m. at 631 Tire Road in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's presented by Humphrey Racing. It'll be over at Ronnie Humphrey's house. The 5th annual Arclitex Racers Swap Meet. Again, that's at 631 Tire Road. That's T-Y-R-E Road. At 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you'd like any more information on this event, you can message my page on Facebook, Joshua Bell Announcer. I'd be happy to give you all the information on the event that I can. It'll be a great swap meet. You won't want to miss it. Lots of parts, everything that a racer might need, as well as some concessions. And I'm sure some great conversations, some good times with your racing buddies out there at the 5th annual Arclitex Racers Swap Meet. So y'all be sure to make it out to the Humphrey Racing Shop tomorrow morning. Six laps complete and 14 to go for the 27 of Dalton Faulkner. Trying to complete the support class sweep. The lights are out. We're going green this time. Great restart there for the 32R of Neil Kemp. He's He's down on the bottom side trying to get around the 81 of Ricky Ingalls. They'll battle side by side, wheel to wheel through 3 and 4 as Faulkner pulls ahead. And the 12 of Bo Perry moves up into the 4th spot ahead of CJ Howell in the 35 car. So it's Faulkner, Kemp, Ingalls, Perry, and Howell, your top 5, with Vic, Blanton, Tucker, Leonard, and Evans rounding out your top 10. Here comes Dalton Dubois, though. That's a good 4-car battle right there for the 7th through 11th positions. Dalton Faulkner pulling out front. He's all alone out there. The 32R of Neil Kemp in the 2nd spot, and the 81 of Ricky Ingalls in 3rd. Winding down. We got 11 laps down this time and 9 to go for the 27 of Dalton Faulkner. Lot of side-by-side action deep in the field. The 1 of Dalton Dubois, along with the 98 of Chris Davis, 55M of Cody Myers, the B21 of Bubba Jones, all battling for each and every precious position here at the USRA Southern Nationals. The 215 of TJ Evans pulls out in front of Calvin Tucker. That's a good 2-car battle for the 8th spot. Give it to TJ Evans out of turn 2. Calvin Tucker's got the 9th spot, and Walter Hamilton rounding out the top 10 for the time being. There are 5 laps to go in the USRA Factory Stock A main. It'll be 4 here shortly as Dalton Faulkner crosses the ABC Auto Parts flag stand. 4 laps to go. Neil Kemp in the 2nd spot with Ricky Ingalls in 3rd, Bo Perry 4th, and CJ Howell rounding out the top 5. They're side by side, Caitlin Leonard and Chris Davis. I believe that's for the 11th spot. Rolling out of turn 4, Caitlin Leonard's got it in the 9C. 2 to go this time for the 27 of Faulkner. White flag coming out this time as TJ Evans tries to get around Kyle Blanton. That's for the 7th spot there. TJ Evans in the Mike Jones Consulting number 215, but Blanton's got it at the line, the 7th spot that is. Faulkner going to roll through 3 and 4, coming around to grab the checkered flag. He completes the support class sweep, the 27 of Dalton Faulkner. Neil Kemp will come home 2nd, 3rd is Ricky Ingalls, 4th Bo Perry, and rounding out the top 5 is CJ Howell. Climbing out of the car, y'all give it up for him, your USRA factory stock feature winner, Dalton Faulkner in the 27. All right, Dalton. Well, I like seeing you too, buddy. Man, are you going to share any of these speed secrets you got, or are you just going to keep whooping them?
Man, I've worked hard for this the last couple of years I've been doing this. I'm going to try to keep it to myself. I get friendly sometimes, try to help competitors out, but I enjoy winning. I'm going to try to keep it to myself.
All right, man. Well, let us know about everybody who helps you out at least.
Man, I got to thank my wife for letting me do this all the time. My daughter, Allie, at home. My mom and my dad. 5-Star Septic, Don Wild. Club 20, Mr. Neil Kemp. He helps me all the time. LCC Trucking, PRC Carburetors, Knowles Performance Engines. Baja Racing, Ronnie's Auto Sales, John Lita, Supreme Vinyl Works, and all the fans coming out in the good Lord. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Y'all give it up for the 27, your USRA factory stock winner, Dalton Faulkner. I'll send it back up to Bryce. He'll get you set for the USRA American Racer Modified Series A feature.
Thank you very much, Josh. Getting set for tonight's 30 lap. 3,000 to win. American Racer Modified Series A main will take you through the 24-car starting grid. On the pole, this one, the driver that sits second in the series point standings, it'll be Max Eddie Thomas, the 82, out of Quinlan, Texas. He'll set the pace alongside last night's runner-up, Rodney Sanders, out of Happy, Texas, in the 20. He will start to the outside of row number 1. Row 2 on the inside, the veteran out of Longview, Texas. It's Jason Ingalls in the 12, with Big Daddy to his outside, Joe Duval in the 91. Out of Claremore, Oklahoma. Row 3 on the inside, it's Justin McCoy, the 410 out of Grandview, Texas. To Justin's outside, we'll find Chris Hennigan out of Marshall, Texas. The 16 will start 6th. Row 4 to the inside, it's Tater, Dustin Hyde out of Texarkana, the K9. He'll start alongside Kenny Gaddis out of Diana, Texas, in the 2G. Row 5 to the inside, it's series points leader Tristan Dykes, the 14T out of Maypearl, Texas, with James McCreary to his outside, the 13J out of Midlothian, Texas. Row 6 on the inside, we'll find Mike Dillard out of McKinney, Texas, the 66X, with Dylan McCowan to the outside, the 8 out of Urbana, Missouri. Back to your B main winners on row number 7. It's Chris Huckabee out of Midlothian, Texas, the 2C, alongside Manuel Williams, the 2nd out of Falk, Arkansas, in the 24M. Row 8 on the inside, last night's feature winner, Cale Westover, the 125 out of Blair, Oklahoma, with Sean Gaddis to his outside, the 7 out of Diana, Texas. Row 9 on the inside, it's Kevin Rutherford out of Flower Mound, Texas, alongside David Tanner, the D25 out of Wichita Falls, Texas. Row 10, it's Greenwood, Arkansas racer Jason Payton in the 6, and Jeff Needham in the 99 out of Ennis, Texas. Row 11 on the inside at McAllen, Texas native Michael Walker, the 34, alongside Kevin Rowland, the 4 out of Cedar Hill, Texas. Your series provisionals tonight will be Jack Sarton out of Terrell, Texas, the 47, and Colton Horner in the 56. Out of Houston, Texas, your 24-car starting grid for tonight's 30-lap, 3,000 to win American Racer Modified Series A main. So Max Eddie Thomas will roll from the pole tonight. Last night he started outside of row number 1. His night came to an end on the opening lap, though, as he had trouble. He'll start on the pole with Rodney Sanders to his outside. He started in 3 ARMS events this season in the 20, and he's won 2 of them. He was 2nd last night. He'll start on the outside of row number 1 as Joe Duval has jumped out of line to point out some debris down in turns 3 and 4. Joe Duval scheduled to start 2nd row on the outside, a 3 times winner with the series this season. 1 win at the Revolution Park in Monroe, Louisiana. Also won a pair of races in the Sooner State, the Red Dirt Raceway in Meeker, Oklahoma, and Creek County Speedway just outside of Sapulpa, Oklahoma. For the Claremore, Oklahoma racer who starts 2nd row to the outside. But again, Duval pointing that debris out in turns 3 and 4 before the start of tonight's 30-lap American Racer Tire A main. Looking back to the 3rd row, a solid run last night for Justin McCoy. He finished 7th the Grandview, Texas racer. He will start at the inside of the third row. Chris Hennigan to his outside. Did not finish last night's feature, so a rough go of it for the Marshall, Texas racer last night, who's got a pair of USRA modified victories this season, one at the 82 Speedway in Petty, Texas, the other at the RPM Speedway in Crandall, Texas. A couple other unsanctioned wins as well. In the 16, he'll start 6th. Tater Hyde starting 7th, and Kenny Gaddis off that heat race win tonight and a top 5 finish last night. The final spot in the redraw tonight for Gaddis. He was on the pole last night. He'll start on the outside of the 4th row this evening. Series points leader Tristan Dykes, 5th row on the inside. He's off that podium finish last night. He finished 3rd here on the opening night at the 4th annual Summit Racing Equipment Southern Nationals. Has one win in the state of Louisiana this season, the Arklatex Speedway in nearby Vivian. He picked up the win there back in August. Have his good friend James McCreary to his outside on row number 5. As the caution lights go down, we'll tighten them up and get set for 30 trips around the Boothill Speedway. Should be a good one. Max Eddie Thomas or Rodney Sanders on row number 1. Out comes the green flag, and we're underway here on night number 2, the 4th annual Summit Racing Equipment USRA Southern Nationals. Max Eddie skating up the racetrack. Justin McCoy is going to get out of shape in the 410. Stack up a few cars on that restart, including Tater Hyde, Mike Dillard, and Jason Payton. So officials taking a look at the 66X of Mike Dillard, who was collected down in turns 1 and 2. Sounds like the 410 of Justin McCoy is going to be credited with the caution. Again, a solo spin there, just stacked up everybody behind him, so McCoy has to drop to the back. So we will send Hennigan to the inside of that 3rd row now, and everybody will crisscross accordingly. We'll send Dustin Hyde to the outside of the 3rd row. Everybody else will cross accordingly, and we'll drop the 410 of Justin McCoy to the tail of the field. So after a solid 7th place run last night, the 410 of Justin McCoy having trouble navigating the opening set of turns in that one. Goes around, stacks up the field, and has to drop to the tail. I have his work cut out for him now from the back of this 24-car starting grid as the caution lights go down along the front straightaway. We'll try it again next time. In turn 4, Max Eddie Thomas and Rodney Sanders remain on row number 1. So there we go, take number 2. Thomas and Sanders will try it again, try to get through turns 1 and 2. Back underway here at Boothill Speedway. Eddie Thomas and Rodney Sanders going to wheel side by side. Oh, look out, Max Eddie's going around now in turns 3 and 4. That looks like we possibly got the lap in. I think the leader may have got by there, but the 82 of Max Eddie Thomas went around front of the field. Everybody able to move to the outside of the spinning 82. So as the leader crossed the flag stand there, we were able, or not able to score the opening lap. Looks like Sanders will be to the inside and Ingalls will be to the outside, so unable to get the first lap in there. So now we will have a new front row. Sanders and Ingalls on row number 1 now. So a couple of opening lap cautions. So being updated here, we're going to go 35 laps in tonight's A main. So 35 laps, an extra 5 laps tonight. Tomorrow will be 40 laps. So 35 times around the Boothill Speedway. Just trying for lap number 1 right now, though. Green flag comes out. We're back to it. So a 35 lapper here tonight, Greenwood, Louisiana. We're back underway. Rodney Sanders going to assume the lead. The Rocket will lead lap number 1. Jason Ingalls going to play chase as everybody tries to find the preferred line to take around the racetrack. We got a spinner down in turns 3 and 4. Looks to be Manuel Williams, the second. And out comes the caution flag once again. Mason Williams around in turns 3, or excuse me, Manuel Williams, the second, around in turns 3 and 4. So Manuel Williams, the second, the solo spinner down in turns 3 and 4. And we will go back to work on the lineup once again. 2 laps now completed. Rodney Sanders had jumped out to the lead. Jason Ingalls into the second place spot. Joe Duvall, Chris Hennigan, and Tater Hyde, the early top 5. Tristan Dykes has moved forward in this one, up into the 6th place spot. 7th is Kenny Gaddis, 8th is Dylan McCowan, 9th James McCreary, and Mike Dillard, the very early top 10. Just 2 laps completed. Had more cautions than we've had laps at this point. A couple of cautions to start on the opening lap, and now another one here on lap number 2. Try to pull this one together as we get the field realigned and ready for the restart behind the 20 of Rodney Sanders. We touched on Sanders, a 2-time winner with the ARM Series this season. Of course, he had a couple of USMTS victories as well. Finished 4th in the USMTS standings this season. Also had 5 other wins under the USRA banner. Ended up 2nd in USRA national points as well in the 20. A pretty amazing feat there, running the full USMTS schedule and also able to get enough shows in to be in the top 2 of the USRA modified national standings behind another USMTS Series regular, Dustin Sorensen. So by all accounts, a pretty good season for the 20 as he will have control of this restart. Looks like the caution lights will go down this time around, and we'll give it a go next time in turn 4. Sanders, Ingalls, Duval, Hennigan, and Hyde. Early top 5, just 2 laps completed of 35. Again, 35 laps tonight for the $3,000 payday. A 40 lapper tomorrow for the $4,000 to win finale of the American Racer Modified Series 2021 season. As we crank them back up out of turn 4, Rodney Sanders back to the lead here with 2 laps in and 33 to go. Joe Duval going to race by the 12 of Jason Ingalls into the 2nd place spot. Duval looked good in the late goings here last night. Up into the 4th place spot, Tristan Dykes has found some speed along the bottom side of the racetrack as well. He'll jump up into 5th by Dustin Hyde. So Dykes into the top 5 now behind the 16 of Chris Hennigan. Hennigan working along the bottom side of the racetrack. Dykes trying to hit that bottom as well. Those two run 4th and 5th. Just behind Jason Ingalls. Ingalls going to slide up the racetrack for a moment. He'll hit his marks, though, find some traction along the top side of the racetrack to shake off the 16 of Hennigan in that race for 3rd. Everybody else trying to find their line right now in the early goings of tonight's 35 lap. 3,000 to win American Racer Modified Series A main. Kevin Rowland's off into the infield. Will lose the 4R. So Rowland into the infield as we complete lap number 6. It's Rodney Sanders, your leader. Joe Duval in 2nd. Jason Ingalls in 3rd. Chris Hennigan, Tristan Dykes, the top 5. 6th is Kenny Gaddis, Dylan McCowan. He's rolled up into the 7th place spot, so McCowan putting together a pretty good run here. He started 12th on the grid. He's up 5 positions right now. In the 8, looking for more on Kenny Gaddis. So McCowan going after Kenny Gaddis in the race for 6th. And he will work by the 2G. So Dylan McCowan by Kenny Gaddis into the 2G. Meanwhile, 3-car race for 2nd begins to develop as Jason Ingalls is back down to the inside of Joe Duval. Chris Hennigan rolling up on the 91 as well along the top side of the racetrack. Good 3-car battle for the 2nd place spot down through turns 1 and 2. Nearly 3 wide for a moment. Duval along the high side of the racetrack. Ingalls was working the bottom to middle. Now Hennigan back upstairs in that race for 2nd down the front straightaway. Joe Duval has his hands full right now. A pair of Texans going after the 91. Able to shake off Ingalls for time being. As Rodney Sanders begins to roll up on the tail of the field, we've got a caution, though, for debris down in turn 4. So caution for debris in turn 4. Go back under the yellow now with 11 laps completed. Rodney Sanders, your leader. Good 3-car battle for 2nd, just ahead of that caution. Joe Duval, Jason Ingalls, and Chris Hennigan. That trio racing for 2nd. Tristan Dykes is 5th, but it's Dylan McCowan that's moved up a half a dozen spots now into 6th. Started the outside of road number 6. Now he's just outside of your top 5 in the 8. A new MB Customs for the 8 of Dylan McCowan, and he's put it into the 6th place spot ahead of Kenny Gaddis. Dustin Hyde has slid back into the 8th place spot. Sean Gaddis runs 9th, and James McCreary rounds out your top 10. Kel Westover now up a few spots into 11th. 12th is Kevin Rutherford. 13th is Chris Huckabee. Mike Dillard has slipped to 14th as Justin McCoy has worked his way back off the tail of the field now to the 15th place spot. It's Max Eddie Thomas in 16th. 17th is Michael Walker. 18th is Jason Payton. 19th, Colton Horner. 20th, David Tanner, and Jeff Needham rounds out the field here with 11 laps completed of 35. Rodney Sanders will have control of the restart once again once we go back green, this time in turn 4. Joe Duval going to try to hold off Jason Ingalls and Chris Hennigan in that race for second. We'll see if anybody can challenge the 20 here as we get back going with 11 laps completed at 35. Solid restart for the 20 of Rodney Sanders. Able to put some separation between himself and now Jason Ingalls, who's worked by Joe Duval into second. Now Duval slides up the banking on exit turn number 2. Missed his mark for a moment. Now Hennigan and Dykus are going to try to make him pay the price. Hennigan sliding across the racetrack, stays out of the sight of Duval, but that's going to allow Dykus to slide up into the 3rd place spot. Hennigan 16 was dozing, and he and Duval may have come together. As you can see, some damage on the left side of that 91 as well. Nonetheless, collision could have been much worse as Hennigan was skating straight up the racetrack by the 91. Dykus was able to take advantage to jump up into the top 3 as we've got another caution. This time for Justin McCoy at the top side of turn 4. So Justin McCoy stopped at the top side of turn 4, brings us back under the yellow flag once again. 14 laps now completed. Rodney Sanders still leads. Jason Ingalls was able to jump up into the 2nd place spot ahead of Joe Duval, who's now slipped back into 5th behind Tristan Dykus and Chris Hennigan. Hennigan and Duval came together for a moment on exit turn number 4. That's when Dykus was able to race by the 16 and the 91 into the top 3. Dylan McCowan still just outside the top 5 in the 6th place spot. Tater Hyde back there in 7th as we get the rest of the field doubled up here. 14 laps completed at 35. Trying to get everybody tightened up. Caution lights will go down along the front straightaway. To the green off of turn 4. Laps completed this time around. Tristan Dykus has now grabbed another position over Jason Ingalls. Dykus up into the 2nd place spot. He looked really good last night in that 14T. Now he'll jump up into 2nd here as we'll complete lap number 16. Just a few laps shy of the midway point. Rodney Sanders with the lead. Dykus to 2nd. Jason Ingalls, Chris Hennigan. And now Dylan McCowan up into the top 5 by Joe Duval. So McCowan to 5th. Duval slips to 6th now. McCowan has a run on Hennigan in the race for 4th. Hennigan shuts the door for a moment along the bottom side of the racetrack. Now it'll open back up. McCowan will pull alongside the 16 down the back straightaway. Dylan McCowan putting together a pretty good run. He'll work into the 4th place spot. Started 12th on the grid. So car 8 now into 4th by Hennigan. See if he can move forward any more here in the second half of this one. Halfway through now, 19 in and 16 to go this time by. Oh, we got trouble down in turn number 4. James McCreary's going around. And the caution will come back to the air once again at James McCreary at the bottom side of turn 4. Looks like we will send Brandon Houck to take a look there at the 13J of James McCreary here on the front straightaway. Tried to get him to pull to the inside of the racetrack, but he has stopped in the middle of the front straightaway here. So we'll try to get Brandon up there to take a look at the 13J. Taking a look underneath the skirt of McCreary there on the front straightaway. The nose folded up as well on that 13J. Get him tagged back in line. Field's been instructed to go ahead and get in double file formation. We'll send McCreary back around to the tail of the field and get things back going here with 19 in and 16 to go. Now McCreary pulls pit side the 13J, so not liking what he's feeling, and he heads pit side here, 16 laps short of the checkered. The rest of the field comes together. The caution lights go down. We will get set to crank them back up in turn 4. Rodney Sanders in command once again. Tristan Dykes on the move. We'll see if he can challenge Rodney Sanders here in the next 16 laps. He's got a good race car. We'll see what he can do with it as he's going after the 20 of Sanders. Ingles to his outside. McCowan continues to charge, but really failed to fire on that restart in the 8. And Gaddis and Hennigan were both ready to pounce on the 8. So he will drop a couple spots on that restart as we go back green. 20 in, 15 to go that time around. Dykes trying to make it a race for the top spot, but Sanders is just too strong along the top side of the racetrack. Joe Duvall trying to race back by Sean Gaddis, now back into the top 5. A big shake-up, 5th on back in this one as McCowan begins to go the wrong direction in the 8. Sean Gaddis fending off the 91 of Joe Duvall in the race for the 5th place spot. Those two just behind Chris Hennigan in the 4th. Jason Ingles still in the 3rd place spot. 2nd is Tristan Dykes as Rodney Sanders just continues to roll out in front of your field. The Rocket pretty well dominating here tonight at the Boothill Speedway. A dozen laps remain in this one, 23 in and 12 to go. Sanders leads, Dykes still in 2nd, Ingles 3rd. 4th is Hennigan and Sean Gaddis. That's the top 5. Dylan McCowan in the 6th place spot. Joe Duvall's dropped a couple more positions now as Kenny Gaddis and now Kel Westover race by the 91. So put Big Daddy into the 9th place spot as Tater Hyde's going to round out your top 10 runners. Max Eddie Thomas, Chris Huckabee, Michael Walker, a trio of Arms Series regulars just outside the top 10 and 11th through 13th there ahead of Kevin Rutherford in 14th. Jason Payton will round out your top 15 runners, and it's Jeff Needham, Colton Horner, and David Tanner. The rest of the field of this one inside of 10 to go. This time around we'll have just 8 laps remaining around the Boothill Speedway. To go. The race for 5th going to heat back up down the front straightaway. Dylan McCowan back into the top 5 by Sean Gaddis. It's been an eventful feature for the 8. Was charging up through the field from the 6th row outside, then lost a couple spots. Now trying to take him back. He's back into 5th. So McCowan back into the 5th place spot as Rodney Sanders begins to roll up on the tail of the field once again. We'll see if lap traffic plays any sort of factor here in the final 6 circuits. Sanders on the outside of turn number 4 by the first lap car. David Tanner will go a lap down here with 5 to go. 5 to go. David Tanner goes a lap down. Now does Jason Payton as well. No issues thus far through lap traffic for the 20th Sanders. 4 to go this time around in the 20. In, 3 to go this time around as Rodney Sanders tries to sneak to the outside of Jeff Needham through laps traffic. They will power around the 99 that time off of turn number 4. Rodney with a 4.370 second lead, nonetheless trying to work his way by the lapped cars. 2 to go this time by. Flag waves off of turn number 4. 1 more lap to go for Rodney Sanders over 4.5 second lead, nearly a 5-second lead that time around. Over 5 seconds this time down the back straightaway for the final time. Into turn 3 out of turn number 4. Rodney Sanders wins night number 2 here at Boothill Speedway. So as that will wrap up tonight's American Racer Modified Series A main, before we head to Victory Lane, we'll run down your top 5. Chris Hennigan crossed in the 5th place spot. 4th went to Dylan McCowan. 3rd to Jason Ingalls. 2nd, Tristan Dykes. And your feature winner out of Happy, Texas, that Wichita Tank Racing number 20 of Rodney Sanders. As we will have a word with your feature winner as well as your top 4 finishers here on the front straightaway. So he will get set to climb from the car, the Hatfield powered Paulson Rock Products number 20. How about it for Rodney Sanders, your winner here on night number 2 of the Southern Nationals? Have him autograph the check here. We'll see how good his handwriting is. We know he can't draw, but we can see that he can write pretty well here on the front straightaway. We'll talk to Rodney after a $3,000 victory here this evening. Take us through that one, man. Just able to consistently roll out in front.
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky all night long. We had good draws, so that's definitely a key part in this deal. But we had a good car, but, you know, I was slamming really hard on the front end, but it feels good to get a win. We've kind of been struggling and kind of throwing the kitchen sink at it, and it feels good to at least get a win. So, you know, it's we've been working hard. I got to thank LeBron and my dad. We've been busting our butts, so thanks to them. I got to thank everybody that helps me. Wichita Tank Racing, Army Contractors, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Paulson Rock Products, MVT, S&S Fishing and Rental, Hibner Logging, Bergman Tax, Integra, Swift, CMD Shocks, Hatfield Race Engines. I mean, this thing's got like 2,000 laps, and it just keeps on running. So thank them guys, and hopefully we can run good tomorrow.
There he is. Rodney Sanders picks up the win here on night number 2 of the Southern Nationals. We will talk to Tristan Dykes. So we will talk to Tristan in this one. As much as you're probably ready to wrap this championship up, you probably want to keep it going, man. This thing looks better race after race.
Well, I appreciate it, Bryce. Yeah, it's sad that it's almost over because it is getting good, and I hate it this far in the year, but hey, we'll tear it down and start over and maybe start here next year, right?
There he is. Tristan Dykes comes home in second here tonight. We'll talk to Jason Ingalls as well, who had a great run here this evening. A lot of battling for position in that one. Just take us through tonight's feature.
It was good from start to finish. You know, we had trouble getting started there for a minute, but once we got lined out, the track was great, and you know, those guys did a good job. Congratulations to Rodney.
There he is. Jason Ingalls finishes in third tonight. We'll talk to Dylan McCown, another driver that had an eventful race in that one. You were charging forward, started on the 6th row, got up to about 5th, then fell back, and then had to make your way back to 4th, but a pretty good run.
Yeah, it was definitely getting dicey back there, you know, there for a couple restarts. I didn't know if we was going to make it out in one piece or not, but I ran out of tear-offs halfway through, so that was handy, as muddy as it was tonight, and but all in all, it was a good race.
Making the switch to the MB Customs race cars, only a few nights behind the wheel. What are you thinking so far about the car?
I like it, you know, nothing bad to say about it yet.
There he is. Dylan McCowan finishes in 4th tonight. That will do it trackside here from the Boothill Speedway. On behalf of everyone at the USRA as well as Boothill Speedway, appreciate everyone tuned in on Race and Dirt TV, on Race on Texas, as well as everybody who braved the weather here tonight at Boothill Speedway. We'll start an hour earlier for the finale tomorrow. Good night and God bless.